years.
Yeah, he had.
And I think it just made him tired,
Oh, I think so.
especially middle linebacker. I mean, you're going everywhere.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start us up here.
Sounds good.
80834. Send. Gotcha. Okay. Nope. 6780834. Listen to this. You'll hear it.
You don't hear me breathing through this, do you?
Okay. So that's what's on right now at the radio station. 0103. Okay, we're going.
All right.
A pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Reed Spring High School. This is Benji Finsky alongside my broadcast partner Ryan McCullough and our producer engineer Erwin Perez. We are coming to you live from Carl Langley Field at Wolves Stadium, where tonight the Monett Cubs will kick off their 2022 season of a new leader on the sideline, Coach Ethan Lewis. Obviously, lots of intrigue as we start a brand new year. Please join us for the Big Baldy's Backwoods Barbecue pregame show when we return after this brief timeout. You're listening to Monett Cub football on KKBL Radio and the Talon Sports Network. Now we'll run about 3 minutes of ads.
Okay. Sounds good.
tonight, stop by Big Baldy's and fuel up on great barbecue or a loaded baked potato that's the size of a bear cub. Big Baldy's is just off Highway 60 in Monett. As we begin tonight's broadcast, I want to take this opportunity to welcome my brand new partner to the booth, Mr. Ryan McCullough. Ryan, welcome aboard.
It's great to be here. Looking forward to a great year.
Ryan, if you would, take a minute or two to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am 19 years old. I'm currently going to Pittsburgh State University, hoping to go into sports journalism and a little bit of broadcasting.
And a graduate of Monett High School.
Graduate of Monett High School, former Monett Cubs player.
Yes, and that knowledge and insight will come in handy throughout the year, I'm sure. So glad to have you aboard. It didn't take you long to have your first weather delay.
Yeah, right off the bat, 30-minute delay.
Yeah, tonight's kickoff will come your way at about 7:30, and lightning in the area, but it has moved on to the south and appears to be clearing as we look to the western sky and into the bright sun. But kickoff tonight, which was scheduled for 7, has been pushed back to 7:30, so that's why we're coming to you just a little bit later here tonight. At this point, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the man that you're replacing, Ryan, and that's Leonard Bauer. Leonard, if you're listening out there, I want to personally thank you for everything that you've done for Monett School District and also KKBL Radio. It's been a lot of fun working with you over the years. You may be gone from the booth, but obviously you'll never be forgotten. We'd also be neglectful if we didn't recognize the man who led the Cubs and a coach that you played for, Ryan. Coach Ewell led the Cubs for the last 7 years, and he helped to bring home the school's 3rd state football championship. So congratulations to Coach for all of his accomplishments during his tenure at Monett. Now that brings us to tonight's game. Monett, under the guidance of first-year head coach Ethan Lewis, is coming off a 2-8 season, which will with a group of upperclassmen. Well, he's looking to turn things around as quickly as possible in his first game. Reed Spring under Coach Andy McFarland. They were 4-7 in 2021. The Wolves were ousted from the district playoffs by Mountain Grove in the semifinals. They too are looking to improve this year. So we have 2 teams looking to get off to a fast start here tonight. It's the Cubs and the Wolves live from Carl Langley Field. The Farm Bureau kickoff is just about 29 minutes away. When we return, Ryan and I will take a look at week 1 in the Big 8 and discuss Monett's keys to victory here in Reed Springs. Stay tuned for more of the Big Baldy's pregame show after this timeout. You're listening to the Monett Cubs live on KKBL and the Talon Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reed Springs Schools would like to thank our business partners for their support, including Founders Club partner Tequila's Bar and Grill, Alpha Club sponsor Track Materials, Den sponsor L&J Plumbing Supply, and Den sponsor Maureen Darby State Farm Insurance.
Both are. When you take a look at the Monett Cubs, new leadership with Coach Lewis, lots of question marks, I'm sure, but when you think about it, I'm going to ask you about keys to victory, and tonight's keys to victory brought to you by Buchanan Funeral Home in Monett. Since 1950, they've assisted families honor the lives of their loved ones. So when you take a look at keys to victory, what do you see as important for the Cubs tonight on the road?
Well, number one is going to be containing number 30, Caden Luis for the Reed Springs Wolves. Very solid athlete, committed to the Missouri State Bears. How they're able to contain him is really going to dictate the game, and then also taking care of the football this year. Last year that became a problem for him, especially in the red zone, stall drives, turn the ball over. This year taking care of the ball, finishing drives. It would be the second key to victory.
That comes down to the way you play inside the 20 becomes critical, both offensively and defensively. And you're right, many times last year the Cubs put together really good drives, but they would stall late in that drive. So what's the key then? When you're inside the 20, avoiding penalties, dominating the line of scrimmage, what is it?
Physicality up front is where it's going to start with, getting a good push. Whereas last year, penalties, turnovers, especially when you're running an option system like this, if you have people in the backfield, it's hard to make the reads, hard to get the pitches off, create more turnovers.
You mentioned the first key was containing Wiest, a talented tight end. He also plays on the defensive line. I believe he's a defensive end. We saw him in pregame. Obviously a talented young man. He's already signed with or committed to Missouri State. He's going to be a handful on both sides of the ball.
Oh, yes, he is. He is rated very high in the state of Missouri, one of the number one athletes in the state. So taking care of him, making sure he's not causing havoc on both sides is going to be a very big deal for the Cubs tonight.
Again, tonight's keys to victory brought to you by Buchanan Funeral Home in Monett. Over the years, they have been there to help families no matter the time or the day. Reach out to Buchanan Funeral Home in Monett in your time of need. Still about 23 minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. We'll slip away here from some of our outstanding sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Big Baldy's Backwoods Barbecue pregame show after this timeout. Ryan back with you from Reed Spring. We owe you a station identification. You're listening to the Monett Cubs on KKBL 95.9 FM in Monett, Missouri. If you're listening to tonight's contest on Google Play or through the Apple App Store, that's sponsored by Riley Snyder American Family Insurance, located at 811 Derry Street in Monett. Call 417-235-6034 to receive a free quote on your insurance. Just a reminder that the Talon Sports Network covers 3 area high school football teams each and every Friday night. The Monett Cubs are right here on 95.9 FM. The Cassville Wildcats can be heard on 97.7 FM. And the Aurora Hound Dogs are on AM 940. Be sure to catch Big 8 Conference football on the Talon Sports Network every week of the 2022 season. Earlier, a little bit of a front move through, not a lot of rain. We drove through it, but once we got here, there was a brief shower, about 5 minutes. But the problem tonight was the lightning in the area. Now it appears to be clearing up. It should be a perfect evening for football. We take a look at it. You've played here before, Ryan. Field conditions, about as good as you can get.
Turf be a little wet, but that's about it. Should have dried up by now with the sun, so it'll be perfect field for football. Nice and cool.
Field condition report brought to you by Hydro Extrusions, where it only takes 5% of the energy to make recycled aluminum into new. Come join the Hydro family for a rewarding career. This, if I remember correctly, this turf came from the University of Cincinnati. They put it in for 1 year, and then I think they added soccer or did something at the university, and then they put this up for sale, and Reed Spring purchased it. I believe it's the same turf that they had, and they had to obviously change a Bearcat to a Wolf and change the end zones, but I think they got a good deal on it. It's a beautiful field.
Very nice field.
We sat on the east sidelines looking across the field into the west sun. Now, with a later start, that sun will go down behind those trees shortly, and it'll be just a perfect night for football. We take a look at the Big 8 Conference, Ryan, from tonight. Monett here at Reed Spring, 2-8 and 4-7 a year ago, respectively. Seneca is at Aurora. Seneca had a great year last year, as it turned out, 8-5. Aurora was 7-3. That could be a very good ball game.
Both those schools, a little bit of change, but both have a lot of decent parts coming back. Both are looking to have great years, so it could be a very good game tonight, and one has a lot of serious implications come district time.
Cassville's just down the road here at Hollister. Hollister has a program that has been building over the last few years, and they look to improve on a 6-4 record. Cassville, uncharacteristically, 3-7 a year ago. Lamar, ho-hum, 13-1 a year ago. Marshfield, 5-5. Lamar on the road at Marshfield. It's a long trip, but I think Lamar is still Lamar.
Lamar is still going to dominate the line of scrimmage and run the football like they always have.
A little bit of misdirection in there.
Yes, sir.
You know, and we got Bashore running the shots up there, and I believe they have a quarterback that's a Bashore, too.
Yes, his younger brother is the quarterback for the Lamar Tigers.
East Newton travels to Rogersville. East Newton 2-9 a year ago. Rogersville was 7-4. They had a turnaround season a year ago. McDonald County 10-2 last year. They were at Mount Vernon, who were 1-10 on the season. Got their first victory in district play. Nevada 9-3 a year ago at Springfield Catholic 1-9. McDonald County, they really cashed in with a good group of athletes. I wonder how they're going to be this year.
Yes, they did. They're going to be a team to watch this year as they replace a lot of key parts, especially at quarterback, losing Cole Martin. That's going to be a key position for them to replace and move forward with.
Monett under Coach Lewis, a tough schedule this year. They're on the road tonight here at Reed Spring. Then they host Mount Vernon next week on a Thursday night. Keep that in mind, folks. That's a Thursday night kickoff. Then they have 2 road games at Lamar and at Marshfield. That's going to be tough. So this stretch here in the early part of the season, pretty difficult.
Yes, then you see as it goes later on in the year, it starts to lighten up on them. So a hard first stretch, but then they get into a little bit easier of the second half.
And then they have 3 home games in that second half, hosting Seneca, McDonald County, and Cassville. Cassville, the last game of the regular season. That's something different.
Very interesting to have a rivalry game week 9.
And the Wildcats will be traveling up to Monett. on week 9. So the schedule includes a Thursday night game, and the reason for that is that schools throughout the state basically are taking turns to play on Thursday because of the lack of officials that are out there. And, you know, being a high school official is a tough job, and there are fewer of them out there. So next week, Mount Vernon and Monett will take their turn on a Thursday night. And there were some schools that were going to do it in week 1, but then Misha cracked down on them and said there's a hard start date and you couldn't do it. So everybody's kicking off here tonight. It's the Cubs and the Wolves. We're still about 14 minutes away from tonight's kick. We're going to slip away here from some of our sponsors. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineups after this timeout. .5-pound sophomore Porter Reed. The other defensive end is 6'2", 245-pound senior Isaac Tickner. Outside linebackers for the Cubs, 6'6", 185-pound senior Isaiah Meeks, and a 6 foot, 185-pound senior Connor Pointer. The middle linebackers, 5'7", 165-pound senior Ryan Withnell, and a 5'11", 205-pound junior Diego Baden. At cornerback, Eric Chavez and Evan Witt. At safety, Jake Hoyt and Marcus Young. Tonight's national anthem brought to you by VFW Post 4207 in Monett. Some gave all and all gave some. No one does more for veterans. VFW Post 4207. We will slip away, hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back after this timeout. Reed Spring onto the field, dressed in their home red jerseys and their white pants, white helmets with red numerals on the side. The national anthem, as I said, brought to you by VFW Post 4207 in Monett. Some gave all and all gave some. No one does more for veterans. VFW Post 4207. So big thank you to them for sponsoring the national anthem and for all they've done for all of us. Well, about 6 minutes before kickoff, you've been there before. Start of a season. What's going on in the locker room now for the Cubs? What are they feeling? What are they thinking?
Oh, you're feeling a little bit nervous, but you're also feeling a lot of excitement. Those long summers now, it's finally here. You put in a lot of work, a lot of early mornings, waking up at 5 a.m. You're finally here for the first game. You're excited. Jitters are starting to go away, and you're ready to take the field.
And, you know, that first hit, any butterflies you might have?
Once that first hit goes,
yeah,
the butterflies are gone, and you're playing football.
Yeah, and you know, and then it's about execution and doing what you're supposed to do to help your team win. And but I'm sure, you know, any good athlete has nerves before a ball game, especially the opening kickoff of the season. So both teams onto the field. As I said, Reed Springs in their red jerseys and white pants. The Cubs in the all white with the yellow numerals. Leonard always used to love the yellow numerals because they're so hard to see. You know, so
new helmet design this year.
There is a new helmet design. They've the iconic is the word you use. The iconic M is gone, and it's replaced with like a claw mark.
Scratch from a bear.
And from the distance, it almost looks like the San Diego Charger helmet.
Yes.
So I'll need to take a good look after the ball game tonight. But a new look for the Cubs and a new coach, Ethan Lewis. So we wish them well as they get started here tonight. Coin toss coming up here in just a few moments, and the coin toss brought to you by Clark Community Mental Health Center with offices in Dade, Berry, and Lawrence counties. The Clark Center improves lives and communities through compassion and care. Go to www.clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for services in your area. You know what? I think I hit every one of them. I got them. So we made it through the pregame. You've been listening to the Big Baldy's Backwoods Barbecue pregame show. If you're on your way to the game, you're a little bit late. But if you're going to be late, you might as well stop by Big Baldy's and fuel up on great barbecue or a loaded baked potato. Big Baldy's, just off Highway 60 in Monett. Just moments away from tonight's opening kickoff, brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Lance Matlock. He's for Missouri and he's for the Monett Cubs and all the farmers and families out in Cubs Nation. The first quarter tonight will be brought to you by Friendly Tire in Monett. From large to small, they service them all. Field service is also available. Stop by Friendly Tire or call 235-6777. Captains heading to midfield. Reed Spring with their big tight end as one of their captains, and he stands out. He is a tall lad, and he is thick.
He looks like a natural athlete out there. He stands up.
Cubs shaking hands at midfield. As we said, we're just a couple minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff. A big thank you to all our listeners out there in Cubs Nation. Thank you for joining us from Carl Langley Field here in Reed Spring as we get ready to start the 22 season. The white hat official, the lead official, talking it over with both sets of captains. And momentarily the coin toss will take place, and we'll be ready for action here.
I will say the crowd has been very live tonight. This is a very big crowd.
You know, and they had to pin up their hostilities for an extra 30 minutes, so they're ready to go too. And you know, parents in the stands probably just as nervous or more so than the kids that are playing. Coin toss in the air. And it's in the air again. I don't think he liked the first toss. And I believe the Cubs may have won the toss. They have won the toss, and they are going to defer their option to the second half. So Reed Spring will have the choice here to start the game, so I'll assume that the Wolves will elect to receive the ball. So the Cubs will defend the goal to the south. Reed Spring will defend the goal to the north. I'm assuming my directions are correct here with the sun setting in the west. So pretty well, pretty close. So the Wolves will have it first as we get underway here at Carl Langley. Benji Finsky along with Ryan McCullough, Erwin Perez. Glad to have you along with us here as we start the 22 season. As we said, a lot of intrigue as you start any new season, especially with a new coaching staff and a new set of players. One thing I failed to mention as I was going through the lineups, Monett is senior dominated.
Yes, they are this year. They have double-digit seniors, I believe.
And, you know, as I went through the lineups, I believe only 3 spots were non-seniors. You have a couple of juniors on defense and a sophomore on defense, and you have 1 junior on offense. So 4 non-senior starters tonight for the Cubs, and that bodes well most times. You have seniors
Lots
out
of
there.
Experience out there. Also helps the young guys that are out there. They see a senior leader out there that's been through it, can help them through that moment.
Eric Chavez will be kicking off for the Cubs. He's teed it up at the 40. Abshire back deep for the Wolves. And the kickoff is in the air, high end over end kick that comes down to Abshire at the 6. Out across the 10 to the 15, angling to the right to the 20, wrapped up and spun down at about the 24-yard line, and that's where the Wolves will take over, first down and 10.
Number 7, Ian Hildebrand, going in there to bring him down.
Quarterback for the Wolves is Blandy Burrell. Burrell wears number 7 on his uniform back, and he will line up out of the shotgun with a single back to his right, and now motion Abshire in front of him. It'll be Abshire who gets the handoff, and now will throw. Had a man open, but underthrew him by about 5 yards. The pass falls incomplete. It'll bring up second down and 10.
Cubs corner Marcus Young bit up a little bit on that one and let the guy get behind him.
Well, they went to the bag of tricks right off the bat, and Abshire had a man wide open, but his pass was well short, bringing up second down and 10 from the 24. The Wolves come out with wide receiver split wide right and left. Tailback to the left of the quarterback, Burrell, and a handoff up the middle, and some running room there for the Wolves out to about the 30-yard line. That was Blue Ball with a carry as he picks up about 4 yards.
He was brought down by number 22, Connor Pointer, playing the outside linebacker. He made a very good job getting up there quick and covering the hole.
So a big early play here, third down and 5. Burrell out of the shotgun, takes the snap, and he'll give on a trap play up the middle. It goes to Blue Ball. Blue Ball spins his way close to the first down.
Looks like number 12, Jake Hoyt, in there for the tackle.
Appears that he picks up just enough for the first down. A gain of 5. And the Wolves have their first down of the contest. Clock rolls just underway here. Rolls to the 11-minute mark here in the first quarter. Wide receiver split wide right and left. Again, Burrell will work out of the shotgun. Gets a high snap and hands to his tailback Blue Ball with running room to the 40, to midfield to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, down the left sideline, 20, 10, and finally pushed out of bounds inside the 5.
He was tripped up by Eric Chavez and eventually brought down out of bounds by number 22, Connor Pointer. Cubs lost their outside contain there.
A 64-yard gain and a first down. First and goal for the Wolves at the 2-yard line. That was just an inside handoff to the tailback. Broke one tackle, and then down the left sideline he went.
He had the inside handoff. He broke outside on a cut, and there was no one there.
Here's a handoff to the right and into the end zone. Touchdown for Abshire. Abshire scores to make it 6-0. So a 2-yard TD run by Addison Abshire. And the PAT upcoming. Miguel Campos on to attempt the PAT. Snap back, ball down, the kick up. It's high enough, it's long enough, and it is good. 10:20 left, first quarter action. Reed Springs 7, Monett nothing. Back after this timeout. Back to action here at Reed Spring. Kickoff down to the Cub 25. The return out to about the 29-yard line. And that's where the Cubs will set it up for the first time. 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line.
Number 25, junior Chris Daniels getting in there for the Red Wolves to get a stop.
Cubs led by quarterback Davin Madrid, 5'10", 185-pound senior. A tight formation from the Cubs with a single back behind Madrid. He'll take the snap, give on the end around to his wing back, who stood up after a gain of a couple. It'll bring up 2nd down and long.
Originally was hit by number 10, Dan Phillip, then he was brought down by a whole host of Red Wolves.
That was Connor Pointer with a carry. He picks up 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7. Ball resting at the Cub 32-yard line as the sun goes down behind the western set of trees, the hill on to the west, and thankful for that. 2nd down and 7. And Madrid looks over the defense, a 4-down lineman for the Wolves. Here's Madrid. He'll keep it himself. He cuts it up, breaks one tackle, backpedals his way close to the 1st down. He needed about 7, and it'll be very close as they'll spot him down at about the 39.
Tackle by number 52,
Sebastian Mishaw in there for the stop.
Not until the Cubs get a 1st down, and that 1st down sponsored by Monett Sonic Drive-In. Come in after the game tonight for a burger, tots, and an ice-cold cherry limeade. 1st and 10 for the Cubs from their own 39-yard line. Madrid will give a dive play to his tailback, and that goes for maybe a yard as the Wolves were there to make the hit.
Number 10, Dan Phillip in there for the original hit.
That was Josh Harvey on the carry. He picks up 1 yard. 2nd down and 9 from the 40. Clock rolling with 8:25 left here in the first period. Reed Springs scored on their initial drive. They lead it 7-0. Perfect evening for football now as the Storms have moved through. Little or no wind here at Carl Langley Stadium.
Wolves bringing pressure.
Madrid working on a long count. Will be hit in the backfield, and the pressure got to him. He couldn't run the option play, and he'll lose a couple of yards.
Number 5, Adam Lewis getting to the line for the stop.
Boy, you called that, Ryan. You said they were bringing pressure, and they did.
They had both linebackers blitzing on the guards, and Adam Lewis broke free.
Loss of 2, 3rd down and 11 now for the Cubs. The ball resting at their 38-yard line. Monett comes out with a wide receiver wide to the left. Wing backs to each side. Madrid looks over the defense. He takes a snap, and here's a dive play to the tailback, and that's Harvey, and he's knocked down in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 2 more.
Number 5, Adam Lewis in there again for another stop.
So that'll bring up a punting situation for the Cubs. Line of scrimmage is the 36. Snap back is a good one. Left-footed kick away is a good one. Down to the 35. Return down the near sideline to Cub territory. Down the sideline he goes. Dowdy down to about the 26-yard line.
He was eventually pushed out of bounds by number 12, Jake Hoyt.
It was a 28-yard punt, but it was a low punt. And Dowdy caught it on the run and simply sprinted down the sideline with a big return. So a 28-yard punt, but a return that puts the Wolves in great field position. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. 6:37 left, first quarter. Reed Springs 7, Monett nothing. Back after this out.
Tonight's first quarter being brought to you by Friendly Tire and Monett. No need to worry about your car's health or a flat tire or being stuck in a field with Friendly Tire at your service. Call 235-6777. So an inauspicious start here for the Cubs. They gave up a touchdown early. Now the Wolves just outside the red zone as they have it at the Cub 26-yard line. Reed Spring will come out with two receivers. One split left and one split to the right. Handoff goes to Blue Ball. Blue Ball to the right side, dives down inside the 25, down to about the 23 for a gain of 3 yards.
Number 12, Jake Hoy getting in there for the tackle.
Blue Ball had a big run in that first drive as he took it down to the 2-yard line prior to the touchdown run. Second down and 7.5 here. Burrow out of the shotgun, takes the snap, and shuttle passes it to his big tight end, Weist, and Weist is wrapped up after little or no gain. In fact, there'll be a loss on the play, a loss of 2.
Spencer Micah in there for the stop from Monett.
And that goes as a pass. That was a shuttle pass. So Blandy Burrow, 1 of 1 for -2 here in the early going. Ball at the 25, third down and 9 for the Wolves. Handoff up the middle, it goes to Blue Ball. Blue Ball dives down to about the 20-yard line. He needed 9, he picks up 5.
Nando Hinojosa in there getting his legs to keep him up short from the first down.
Good hit on the inside there from the Cubs. Fourth down and a long 3 here from the 20. The Wolves will go for it.
Huge fourth down here for Monett.
Burrow with 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right side. Single back to his right. Burrow takes a high snap. He'll hand up the middle. The Cubs defense waiting for Blue Ball that time, and he's knocked down for a loss of a yard, and the Cubs will take over.
Connor Pointer getting in there real fast to get this critical stop for Monett. That's a huge stop for the Cubs this early in the game.
It really is. Down 7-0. You could ill afford to get down by a couple of scores. And now the Cubs defense comes up with a big stop, and they'll take over at their own 21-yard line. Cubs 3 and out in their initial drive. I'm sorry, not 3 and out. They did pick up an initial first down. They had a 5-play drive before they punted. First and 10 for the Cubs from the 21. Madrid will take the snap. And a late pitch with running room to the 30, 35, 40, and out to midfield. The Cubs with their first big play.
13, James Dowdy getting in there to stop the ball carrier.
That was Pointer with the carry, and he picks up 29 yards and the first down. That first down brought to you by Sonic Drive-In in Monett, home of the Cubs half-price happy hour every day from 2 to 4 p.m. First and 10 Cubs from the 50.
Wolves showing pressure again.
Madrid again working on a long count here, looking over the defense. Davin takes the snap, and he'll give to Harvey up the middle. Harvey, keeping the legs churning, is able to fall forward for a gain of a couple. It'll bring up second down and 8.
Sebastian Mishaw in there for another stop. He got through the line very quick.
Well, I tell you what, Reed Spring bringing about 9 people and putting them in the box. Right
yeah,
there.
They're trying to sell out to stop that option, which is also what was able to get Connor outside. They brought in pressure off the edge. Connor was outside of him. Davin made a nice pitch, and they were able to get some running room.
I guess they actually put about 7 in the box, maybe 8, and then 2 other guys at the line of scrimmage bump and run with the receivers. Here's Madrid keeping it himself, and he is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
That's number 56, Josh Lowe, getting into the tackle down on Madrid.
Third down and 8 here, a big play for the Cubs if they want to keep this drive going. They have it in Wolves territory for the first time. 2:44 left here in a rapidly played first period. Cubs down 7-0. Wide receiver split wide to the left.
Reed Springs still stacking the box, even on 3rd and long.
Madrid will pitch it to Pointer, running left side to the 45, to the 40, has the first down and more, down to the Wolves 35-yard line, a gain of 13.
That's Meshot again in there for the stop for the Wolves. Weiss was trying to run him down, they just got outside of him.
And that first down brought to you by Sonic Drive-In, your first stop after tonight's game. America's Drive-In for more than 60 years. That's Sonic. 1st and 10, Cubs from the 35. Think Monett might have found something in this drive with Pointer on the outside. On first down, Madrid takes the snap. He'll keep it himself and is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Just finding little or no room there on that play. Bring up 2nd down and 10.
That's number 10, Dan Filflet, in there for the Wolves.
I tell you, Ryan, Reed Spring has some big kids.
Reed Springs has a lot of good size on their defensive line and their offensive line.
However, if you can get them on the outside, you got a shot. Because those guys in the middle, they clog things up, but chasing down Pointer on the outside.
They've done a very good job stopping the fullback dive.
2nd down and a long 10.
Stacking the box again.
They are. Davin Madrid will take the snap. He'll run the option, and he keeps it himself. He couldn't get the pitch out to the outside that time, and he'll be knocked down for a loss of a yard.
And there he is, number 30, Caden Weaston there for the stop. First time we've called his name tonight.
Yeah, and it's easy to see him when he does make a tackle because he is a big kid. 3rd down and 11 for the Cubs. They have it at the Wolves' 36-yard line. Cubs break huddle with 33 seconds left here in the first quarter. Madrid looks over the defense. Takes the snap. Here's a sweep running near side. And the Wolves come up with a big hit there. Pointer knocked down after a gain of just 1.
And Dan Filflet in there again for a stop for the Red Wolves.
And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. No need to worry about your car's health, a flat tire, or being stuck in the field with Friendly Tire at your service. Call 235-6777. We'll be back with the second quarter after this timeout. Just a reminder that you are listening to the Monett Cubs on KKBL 95.9 FM, Monett, Missouri. Benji Finsky, Ryan McCullough with you from Reed Spring. The Wolves lead at 7-0 after 1. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by American Family Insurance, here to carefully protect your dreams. Save up to 23% by combining your auto and your home policies. Call Riley Snyder at 235-6034 to receive a free quote. Riley Snyder also sponsoring tonight's contest on Google Play or the Apple Store. Remember that American Family Insurance located 811 Derry Street in Monett. Cubs 4th and 10. They'll go for it from the 35-yard line. Back to passes. Madrid with time, throws near side, and this is going to be intercepted along the left side down to the 20-yard line. The interception.
The interception was made by number 2, Trayson Cobb, cornerback. He read it perfectly. Ball was laid up there, and he just went up and got it.
You know, as it turns out, it probably would have been better for him to go ahead and just knock the pass down. Yeah. But, you know, for a high school kid,
they
you want to get that interception.
Yeah. They would have got more field position if he would have batted it down.
Yeah, it would have been at the Cub 30 or at the Wolves 35. Now it's at the 21. There is a flag, however, I believe.
First pass play of the game for the Cubs.
I'm still trying to find the flag. There's a holding penalty on the Cubs, and it's going to be declined, so no official penalty there. So a holding penalty is declined. The Wolves will take over first and 10 at their own 21-yard line. They come out with 4 receivers now, 2 to each side. Burrow, the quarterback, will work out of the shotgun. .11:49 left here in the second quarter. Wolves with the ball and a 7-point lead. High snap. Quarterback throws, far side, incomplete. A left-handed quarterback, and you mentioned that in pregame. As Burrow shoots it short over to the left side, the incompletion brings up 2nd and 10.
Eric Chavez was the initial defender, but ball was well underthrown.
That's a kind of a long throw to the sideline there. The ball resting on the right hash mark, and the left-handed quarterback, of course, he's left-handed, which should have been an advantage. He's rolling to the left, but he fired it way too short. 2nd down and 10 from the 21. High snap again. Inside handoff comes to the tailback. And a good effort there from the Cubs as they were able to wrap up a new back.
Jake Hoyt was in there for the stop, able to get upfield really fast.
I believe that. You want to help me with that right there?
Chris Daniels.
Chris Daniels with a carry. And
Jake Hoyt did a nice job getting in there.
He did, and was able to wrap him up after a gain of just 2. Check that, 3rd down and 8 from the 23-yard line. Back to pass. A short pass left side is complete, and a first down for the Wolves. A good effort out there by Reed Spring for the first down.
Connor Pointer pushes him out of bounds. Dago Baden almost had him in the backfield, just wasn't able to wrap him up.
From the 23 out to the 33, a gain of 10, and that was Daniels with the reception. And Reed Spring has their 3rd first down of contest. 1st and 10 for the Wolves from their own 33. High snap, handoff up the middle. It goes to Daniels. Daniels wrapped up as he comes across the 35 to the 36. A gain of 3, bringing up 2nd and 7.
Brought down by Ryan Whitnell for the Cubs.
2nd down and 7 for the red-clad Wolves. They have it at their own 36-yard line. Clock rolls with 10.5 minutes left here in the first half. Wide receiver split left and right, slot to the left side.
Cubs bringing pressure.
Burrow out of the shotgun looking to pass. Throws near side, and it's incomplete, and there is a flag on the play.
Evan Witt with the coverage.
Good coverage on the play as well. We'll see what this flag is here. It was a thrown at the snap. However, they allowed the play to continue, so it wasn't a pre-snap infraction. At least I don't think so here. It was a procedure. So it might have been illegal formation potentially as well, because I believe that's the same signal for that. It is a 5-yard penalty, so the first penalty of the night, the first accepted penalty.
Evan Witt gave the receiver no breathing room on that.
Yeah, he forced the quarterback to throw the ball to the outside.
Which for a left-handed quarterback, that's a very difficult throw. You have to get it across the field.
Second down and 12. Again, the quarterback back to pass, screen pass, far side, and the Cubs there to sniff it out.
Number 14, Eric Chavez getting in there quick, get the stop for the Cubs. He wrapped up and did not let go. He brought him down.
That was blue ball with the reception, and he lost 2 yards on the play. So it brings up third down and very long for Reed Spring. Wide receiver split wide to the near sideline. 2 to the left. As Burrow, the quarterback, takes the snap, back to pass, looks left, now scrambles, still with it, throws late, has his man, and a first down for the Wolves.
He's brought down by number 77, Isaac Tickner. Caden Weiss is just a big physical boy.
He really is, and he picks up 15 yards on the play.
The Cubs hit him behind the marker at first, but he was able to power forward and just keep running.
Reed Spring with their 4th first down of the half.
It's the first time Weiss has gotten the ball tonight.
He had a shuttle pass.
Oh, he did have the shuttle pass, yes. So second time he's got the ball. Can't imagine it'll be the last.
And he'll get it again on a wide receiver screen. Hurdles one tackler and then knocked down after a short gain. A gain of about 4.
Isaiah Meeks, number 44, in there to get the tackle for the Cubs. Did a nice job bringing Weiss down.
Gain of 3.5 on the play.
I imagine as the game goes on, they're going to try and get Weiss the ball more and more.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's one of the better athletes on the field, and you want the ball in his hands as often as possible. We'll call it second down and a long 6 here. As Burrow,
Monett bringing pressure,
gets the snap, he hands to his tailback, and the Cubs defense waiting for blue ball that time as he's knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Hernando Hinojosa met him in the backfield, got his legs, and Isaiah Meeks, number 44, came in there to finish it up.
You've called Hinojosa's name a couple times tonight. He's made a couple hits at or behind the line of scrimmage, and you really like to see that.
He may be a smaller defensive lineman, but he used that to his advantage. He's very quick. He gets underneath, and he gets in the backfield very fast.
Third down and about 7 here for the Wolves with 4 receivers in this formation.
Monett showing blitz.
Back to pass with time. Now flush from the pocket, throws late, and it is incomplete. A diving attempt out to the far side. It falls incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
Great coverage by the Cubs to not leave a man open. Quarterback had to make a tough throw.
So an interesting decision here, and I think the Wolves will probably punt it away here on 4th and 7 as the ball is at their own 48-yard line. Yeah, we'll see. Kind of an unusual formation.
Looks like their quarterback's back there.
Is he going to pooch kick it, though?
It appears.
Yeah. And he angles it to the near sideline, and I think he angled it way too much as it went out of bounds way up the field here. And we'll see. It's going to give the Cubs good field position. A 22-yard punt with no return. Cubs will have it 1st and 10 at their 30. There's timeout on the field. We're going to keep it right here and remind you that the second quarter is being brought to you by Riley Snyder American Family Insurance, located at 811 Derry Street in Monett. Call 235-6034 to get a free quote. Touchdowns tonight. If the Cubs strike pay dirt, they'll be brought to you by the law offices of Randall, Mastery, and Randall, your hometown professional law office specializing in estate and real estate law. Count on them for professional results. Call 235-8688. Any extra point or field goal tonight will be brought to you by Home Shield Pest Control, providing a safe defense from pests in your home or business. Home Shield Pest Control is your quality, affordable pest service provider. Call 417-772-4177. Again, that's 772-4177. Well, the Cubs defense, they've risen to the occasion after that initial drive.
First drive got the jitters out. Now they're out there. They've done a very good job.
Really containing the Wolves' big man and their tailbacks after that one long run.
They gave up one big play, and since that, they haven't been giving up big plays.
Cubs will have it 1st and 10. Here's a sweep to the near side that'll go for about a yard.
30, Caleb Weiss is all over it.
And that was Marcus Young with a carry that time. Young with a carry, picks up 1 yard.
At defensive end, Weiss is just very quick, and it was all over that sweep.
Yeah, and the Cubs were running to the short side of the field, too. With
He
the
had
ball
less
on the
room to run. He was right there.
Now, why is the ball on the outside of the hash mark? Is it the... Maybe that's the hash mark is the vertical line, not the horizontal line.
I haven't seen many fields like that.
Here's a dive play right up the middle off right guard, and hard running there.
Adam
by
Lewis
Harvey.
in there for the initial hit for the Wolves.
Harvey picks up about 4 yards on the play, his longest run of the night. He has had tough sledding, but that time he found a crease between the center and the guard and put his head down and rammed his way out to the 34. Cubs need to get to the 40, so it's 3rd down and 6.
With the offense, Cubs, Ryan Harvey's getting hit every play, whether he gets the ball or not, because of that fullback position.
You're right. He's always tackled.
He's beating those defensive linemen right there.
3rd down and 6 for the Cubs. Madrid running the option. Has room. Breaks it still on his feet. Into Reed Spring territory. Down to the 44-yard line. And now a late one comes out.
James Dowdy eventually to bring down Gavin Madrid.
Oh, that was a late flag. And they're going to wave it off. Yeah. Gain of 16 plus 7, a gain of 23 for Harvey. The Cubs were the 1st down, and that 1st down brought to you by Monett Sonic Drive-In. Come in after the game tonight for a burger, tots, and an ice-cold cherry limeade.
That was hard running there.
It was, and he broke out the initial tackle at the line of scrimmage and then angled his way back across the grain and picked up 23 on the play. 1st and 10. 1st and 10 for the Cubs.
Wolves are showing blitz.
Here's a pitch play right side, and the Wolves there to make it hit.
Face mask here.
That was Jake Hoyt running, and it's going to be a hold on the Cubs, and I bet they'll decline that.
Dan Philford in there to get the stop for the Wolves.
Yeah, I'd say they'll decline this. It's a 7-yard loss, and it'll be 2nd down and 17. I'm sure they'll decline it.
That's a big loss for the Cubs there.
-7 on the carry. That's not the tailback's fault that time. Pressure got in, and he had nowhere to go. Was spun down just about as soon as he got the pitch. Ball back to the 50, and it brings up 2nd down and 17. The Cubs break huddle with 4:45 left here in the 2nd quarter. Sending wide receivers wide right and left.
Wolves showing pressure on the edge.
Wing backs on each side. Back to pass Madrid with time. Throws deep right side. And the pass is knocked away at the last second. It falls incomplete. And there's another flag in the Cub backfield.
Addison Abshire in there to break up the pass.
Number 11, Marcus Young. Addison Abshire with the coverage for the Wolves.
Marcus Young looking for a flag at the end of that, but really good coverage there by Reed Spring.
Abshire was nice and tight. He did a very good job getting up, breaking the pass down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer will go against Reed Spring. So a huge penalty there.
Big break for the Cubs.
That'll be a 15-yard penalty. Holy cow, yeah, they marked that from the line of scrimmage.
It's an automatic first down, too.
That penalty's an automatic first down. It'll be first down for the Cubs from the Wolves.
Huge break for the Cubs.
That first down brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. And that was marked from the line of scrimmage, which is where a roughing the passer would go from, 15 yards down to the 35. Here's misdirection, and that's Jake Hoyt. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet, driving down inside the 25. A gain of 11 and a first down.
Hoyt was met in the backfield, but he broke the tackle and just kept going.
First down brought to you by Sonic Drive-In, home of the Cubs half-price happy hour every day from 2 to 4 p.m.
Evan Crane, number 59, finally brought Jake Hoyt down. Cubs have a solid drive going, so like we said, the key to victory is it's a good time for them to try and finish a drive, whereas last year they stalled at some points during this time.
That was a good segue. That was good, bringing back keys to victory. You're right. Cubs started this drive at their own 30. Now they have it at the 24. And the question is, can they finish this drive? Down by 7 as we approach halftime. 1st and 10 for the Cubs. Madrid works under center. And will give on misdirection to the right side, and a flag will come out. This might be a face mask.
The Red Wolves are all over this one.
Hildebrand with his first carry. It's going to be face mask against Reed Spring. It's going to be a 5-yard variety. Third penalty for 25 yards. Should be first and 5. There's a timeout on the field. And this timeout brought to you by Simrise Isanova. Simrise Isanova is now hiring. For more information about employment opportunities, go online to isanovatech.com and click on the Careers tab. A big thank you to Simrise Isanova for sponsoring timeouts this season. 3:41 left here in the second quarter. Monett trails 7-0. But Cubs are driving. 1st and 5 at the 19, and they put together a pretty good drive. Ryan, I tell you what, we drove through some inclement weather on the way down, but it's a perfect night now, isn't it?
Oh, it's a beautiful night. Cleared all the hot air out. It's nice and cool. Perfect night.
And you said, you know, the field a little bit damp at the onset, but it's dried out now. We've seen no issues with anyone slipping. 1st and 5 for the Cubs at the 19.
Wolves are showing pressure off the edge.
Madrid will work under center. And he keeps the ball himself and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play to bring up 2nd down and 5.
That's number 5, Adam Lewis, in there for the stop. The Red Wolves defensive ends do not sit. They like to go up there and attack, which is the dive key, so that's why you're seeing Davin keep a lot of these balls.
It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Cubs from the 19-yard line.
Madrid now with 28 yards on the night. Handoff up the middle it goes. A gain of a yard or two for the Cubs.
Pack of Wolves in there for the stop. That big defensive line that they have.
That was Harvey.
Evan Crane in there for the initial hit.
Third down and 4.
How big that defensive line is, it makes it hard to run up there in the middle. They plug a lot of holes.
Yes, you're right. They've got some size up front. Third down and 4 for the Cubs from the 18-yard line.
Big third down here for Monett.
Madrid will work under center, and working on a long count. The play clock is at 18 seconds. He'll just run a quarterback sneak. He went under center and drove right up the middle, and he might have enough for the first down. He needed 3, and I believe he got it.
That was a very powerful run there by Davin Madrid. Adam Lewis got in there for the stop. Looks like they might measure this.
Oh, that looks clearly like a first down.
Yep, signaling first down.
I'm going to give him a gain of 4. Cubs with 7 first downs, and each one of those first downs brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Be sure to stop by after tonight's game. America's Drive-In for more than 60 years. It's Sonic.
Madrid did a great job lowering his shoulder, and he would not be denied of that first down.
First and 10 Cubs. This drive started at their own 30. If you remember, it came after a short punt that was angled to the near sideline. Cubs took advantage of that. They've also been the recipient of a couple penalties, so roughing the passer really helped, as did a face mask. First and 10 for the Cubs from the 14-yard line. Madrid works under center. He turns and gives to the second man through, left side with running room. Down inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line for a gain of 7.
Adam Lewis in there for the stop. There is a flag on the play.
Tackle was made by number 5, Adam Lewis. Penalty marker on the play.
We have called Adam Lewis's name a lot tonight on defense.
Well, that was a good, tough run there for Monett, and it might be coming back. It's going to be a penalty against the Cubs. It's going to be a 15-yarder. So it was a late flag that cost the Cubs. They were inside the 10, and now they're out to the 22.
And that really hurts after having a run like that, too. And back up after getting a nice game like that.
Did you catch who ran the ball that time for the Cubs? Was it
I believe it was Harvey.
Harvey up the middle? I will give him credit for a gain of 7 on the play.
Adam Lewis is having a nice game on defense for the Wolves.
Second down and 17. A little bit of a miss on the backfield. Is hit down at 23. It'll be a loss of a yard. The back went right and Madrid went left, and he had to eat the ball for a loss on the play.
That miscommunication there, and he was stopped by number 5, Adam Lewis, yet again.
That is our second charge timeout.
Timeout on the field taken by the Cubs. We're going to keep it right here and reset things. 1:28 left here in the second quarter. Cubs down 7-0. Reed Springs scored on their initial drive of the game, and it's been 7-0 ever since. The Cubs now have it third down and long at their 23, and the Cubs need to get to just inside the 5. So we're going to call it third and 18. I'll say this, Reed Spring High School has probably the best sound system in the county.
Oh, definitely.
At least.
They have a very nice sound system.
It is definitely loud, and we hear all of it here, and I'm sure as a player on the field you do as well.
It's loud, but it's clear at least.
True. Loud and clear. Absolutely.
It could be staticky. So
we'll see what the Cubs offer up here on third down and 18.
Now, for watching pregame, we do know the Cubs have a decent kicker in Eric Chavez in case they would need to kick a field goal.
From this spot, it'd be a 40-yarder, so
That'd be
Cubs
a
need to
tough
get
field
some
goal, yeah.
get some yards here on third down. Madrid under center. He'll take the snap, and he'll give the second man through that goes nowhere. And that was Hoyt.
Moses Barr was in there for the stop for the Wolves, and they were all over that one.
4th down and 18, so.
And it does look like they're going to try and kick the field goal here.
And they're going to put it down. Chavez will come in. He puts the tee down on the 30, so it'll be a 40-yard field goal attempt for the Cubs. Cubs letting the clock run as much as possible here.
It's like Marcus Young is the holder.
Snap back, ball down, the kick up. It's high enough, but it is not long enough, and it's wide right.
It's like he had too much air underneath it on that one.
Really did. Needed to drive it more. Needed to hit it with about a 4-iron, and I think he used about an 8-iron on that one. And it came up a little short and to the right. Stops the clock with 23.7 seconds left here before intermission. The Wolves lead it 7-0.
Key here is no big plays if you're Monett. Don't let anyone behind you. Keep everything in front of you. You don't want to have a big play before the half and just demoralize all your momentum you just built there on that drive.
Exactly. Reed Spring with 2 timeouts remaining. But you're absolutely right. Keep everybody in front of you. Tackle them. Inbounds. Get to halftime. And now it looks like Reed Spring's going to call a timeout because they are missing an offensive lineman.
That's a key position to have out there.
Yeah, usually a pretty good idea to have 5 up front.
At least.
Well, I spotted who was guilty. He came running in there as the timeout started.
And he'll hear about that in film session tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Like, you're a starting offensive lineman. We have the ball again.
And he'll just sink down in his chair when they call it out.
That ever happened to you?
No, thankfully.
When you were supposed to be on the field, you were there.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's happened to some of your teammates.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I saw it happen at college level one time. One of my former, in fact. I'll tell you the story in a little bit. I'll tell it to you at halftime.
Sounds good.
1st and 10 Wolves.
Looks like Monett's bringing a blitz.
Here's a handoff up the middle. And a gain out across the 30 from the tailback blue ball. Blue ball picks up.
Jake Hoyt getting in there for the stop, along with Marcus Young.
That was a gain of 10 and a 1st down. Clock down to 13 seconds left. And here's blue ball again running, and this time knocked down.
Isaiah Meeks getting in there for the stop for Monett, number 44.
That should take us to intermission, and it will. Second quarter brought to you by Riley Snyder American Family Insurance, located at 811 Dairy Street in Monett. Call 235-6034 to get a free quote. We are at halftime. Our score, Reed Springs 7, Monett nothing. We'll be back with the Remax halftime show after this timeout. Hmm. School, Carl Langley Field. Here at halftime, the Cubs trail it 7-0. So the summary here in just a minute will be very brief. A reminder that you are listening to the RE/MAX halftime show. The team at RE/MAX Properties in Monett has the talent, intelligence, and teamwork to provide you with the utmost care and respect in these exciting times. Ryan, you have the duty of scoring summary. It's going to be a quick one tonight here at halftime, but you can go ahead and recap our listeners on what's occurred.
Well, in the first quarter, on the first drive of the game, Reed Springs went down the field, and with 10:20 of the game, Addison Abshire got a 2-yard touchdown run. The PAT was good, so that led to score 7-0, and it has remained that way for the rest of the half.
Yeah, it's been a defensive battle since that time, and the Cubs defense gave up one big play. It was over 60 yards down to the 2, but since that time they've been stout.
I think if you're the Cubs defensive coach, I think you're very pleased with how the game has gone so far. If you take away that one drive, it's 0-0. Take away that one play, it really could be 0-0 if you erase the one big play.
7-0 our score. As we move along here at halftime, we'll slip away, hear from some of our outstanding sponsors, and we'll be back with more of the RE/MAX halftime show after this timeout. Time show. Remax reminds you that talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. The same can be said for buying and selling a home in today's market. Visit with the team at Remax. Here at halftime, Monett trails 7-0. A quick look at first half stats. First of all, for the Monett Cubs, they ran the ball 23 times in the first half for 94 yards. They were 0 of 1 passing, so total yardage in the first half for Monett, 94. 7 first downs tonight for the Cubs in the first 2 quarters. They had 1 turnover, which was an interception, 1 penalty for 15 yards, and 1 punt for 28 yards. For Reed Spring, they ran the ball 12 times for 97 yards, 5 of 8 passing for 25 more, so total yardage 122 yards. 5 first downs, no turnovers for the Wolves, 3 penalties for 25 yards, and 1 punt for a 22-yard average. Blue ball leading the way for the Wolves with 90 yards on the ground. Burrell 5 of 7 passing. Weist, his favorite target, 3 catches for 17 yards. The Cubs led on the ground by Pointer with 46 yards. Madrid with 31. So, Ryan, looking at the first half here, it's really been a defensive battle.
You take away that one big play, and the yardage is virtually identical.
Absolutely, and that came in that first series of plays for the Wolves, and that's the difference in this one. The Cubs right there. And one of the things that you brought out at the very beginning of the night, keys to victory, was finishing drives, and the Cubs had a penalty. They were down at the 7 and had a penalty that moved them outside the red zone.
They only have 1 penalty, but it was a very costly penalty, and it could have cost them points on that drive.
Well, at least 3.
Yeah, at least 3.
Chavez, the drive ended with Chavez missing a 40-yard field goal, and if he'd have been inside the 10, it would have been more of a chip shot.
Yes.
So, it's 7-0 our score. We're going to slip away, and when we come back, Ryan's going to take a look at area scores, taking a look at other Big 8 teams here in Week 1. We'll be back with more of the Remax halftime show after this timeout. To the RE/MAX halftime show. The team at RE/MAX Properties in Monett has the talent, intelligence, and teamwork to provide you with the utmost care and respect during these exciting times. Before I turn it over to Ryan, I just want to mention the fact that it takes so much for a broadcast like this to come across the airways. There's so much work behind the scenes to make it happen. You know, it starts with an excellent sales team that reaches out to people to see if they'll support the Monett Cubs. And Monett's always been lucky to have a lot of great sponsors, and the list grew exponentially this year, and we're so thankful for that. But it's also the technicians like Irwin, who produces the show upstairs. But it's the guys before we got on, and I want to say a big thank you out to Sean Baker, the station engineer, for setting up the hardware and software for our video production, and to Dan Crouch, too, of MDC Business Technology, for his input around our upgraded video equipment and website. Those guys put a lot of time and effort in before we ever headed to Reed Springs, and we appreciate that. And the technology aspect of this, it takes a lot. So thank you to you guys for all that you do, and everyone else that make this possible. At halftime, the Cubs trail 7-0, and I'm going to turn over to Ryan here for just a little bit to talk about other scores in the area.
Oh, we started off in Seneca, where Seneca is hosting Aurora. Seneca leads at halftime 16-8. Jax Mars, stud running back for Seneca, with a pair of touchdowns in the first half to give them the lead. Mount Vernon is leading McDonald County 17-7 at the half. You have Logan, Rogersville, and East Noon, where Rogersville leads 14-7 at the half. Then we have the Nevada Wildcats, or Tigers, 21-0 over Springfield Catholic. And then you have Lamar being Lamar over Marshfield, 35-0 at the half.
Lamar continues to roll. And one way to get your season started if you're Marshfield, you know, you host Lamar.
Play Lamar.
And 35-0. But Mount Vernon, after a very rough season a year ago, off to a good start here tonight.
They return a lot of guys. Even they had a couple freshmen start last year that they bring back. So a lot of their varsity team has had a ton of experience now getting to play in that system.
And boy, you just cannot replace experience. You just can't. And
McDonald County lost a lot of that experience this past year. They had some guys that started 3-4 years for them. They just lost them. So now you have a lot of fresh faces in there, as you can see in that first half.
You know, you and I, before we came on there, we talked about the balance of power in the Big 8 last year, and it really, most of it was in the West.
Yes.
You know, you had Lamar, you had McDonald County, you had Nevada, you had the big three.
Even
right
Seneca
there.
was right there. Their
And
only
Seneca
losses came to those schools.
That's right. They ended up 8-5, and Aurora won the East. And and after that it was 500 teams and below. So there might be kind of a shift, and we're unaccustomed to seeing Mount Vernon going 0-9 in the regular season.
That does not happen.
And so I think that the shift a lot of it will fall on Mount Vernon. Are they going to be that team that reclaims some of that power? Is Reed Spring going to do that? Rogersville had a good season a year ago. Are they going to be able to maintain that? Marshfield, even though they're down by 5 scores, they have a talented quarterback. And are they going to do that? So it'll be interesting. And we'll really know more in about a month. These first 2 or 3, 4 weeks, and we'll see, just where that power is. Monett here, down only 7 on the road. They have a chance to steal one on the road, and this would be a huge win, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be an absolute huge win for the Cubs, especially, first game under coach. You come in here, start the year 1-0. It gives them all the momentum heading to week 2 against Mount Vernon, who's up right now. You could have a very good game next Thursday night.
Absolutely, and like I said, we've mentioned it more than one occasion. The difference in this game is really one play.
It's one play, one big play, and that's changed the whole thing. And maybe that one penalty could have led to without that penalty, maybe the Cubs scored a touchdown there.
But if you think back to Reed Spring's second drive, they hit a pass play down the side. No, I'm sorry, it was a punt return.
Yep.
They had a punt return that took them inside the 30, and the Cubs defense held in 4 and got it back to the offense, and that kind of stemmed the tide in that first half and kept the Cubs in it.
If Reed Springs would have went up 14-0 there and Punch went in, they would have had all the momentum on their side. Cubs would have been down. This could be a totally different ball game right now.
And, I know it's early, and I know that there's still the playbook's evolving, but Monett's built to be in close ball games.
Oh, yes, they are.
I don't think they could afford to get down by 2 or 3 scores.
With the power running that they do, they're not built to start slinging the ball around nonstop. And you've seen Coach Lewis. He's committed to that run game, only throwing a couple passes. One was a flag, so it doesn't count. Only one true pass play actually happened. They've committed to that run. Even on 3rd down, +5, they've ran the football.
And, I think over time that pays dividends.
It does. It can wear down that defensive front, and Reed Springs has a very big defensive front, and you want to get them tired and worn out. That's what Lamar does with teams. They just match up with you physically and pound the ball down your throat.
Now, when I coached, I didn't coach football, but I coached basketball, and I always harp to my teams, you got to win the first few minutes of the second half. I don't know if your coach has talked to you about getting a good start in the second half, but it always seems to me that it's critical for teams to come out of halftime and play well.
Absolutely. You just went in there and made those adjustments. You start the second half good. Your momentum, you're going to be riding hot. You want to be that team to grab the momentum and take control of the game. Especially as the game gets later, if you're the team that doesn't have the momentum, you get more nervous, you're more likely to make a mistake.
So how many adjustments can a team make at halftime? 1 or 2 things?
For the Cubs, it would probably be trying to contain those ends because they're the dive key in this triple option offense, so they leave them a lot. Well, they're crashing down, so maybe they'll pull quicker and get a pitch out, or maybe they'll counter that. They're bringing the Reed Springs is flying to the football, bring a counter back the other way.
Yeah, I could see that happening. And, thinking back to our pregame, Buchanan Funeral Home keys to victory, you mentioned 2 things, all right? Contain Weiss. I would say
they've done a very good job
I'd say that's
so far.
check mark. And then finish drives, I would say no.
The one we did not finish, no.
So,
but they have a chance to come out here in the second half and fulfill that.
Yeah, and if they can pull that off, then you're looking at a victory, you know. But the key is to contain the big plays from the Wolves, and by and large they've done that, and then finish some drives. And they have 2 quarters to do that, and the Cubs will get the ball to start the second half because they won the toss and deferred to the second half.
And if they go down the field here and punch one in and score a touchdown, they have all the momentum on their side, and you're in a tied ball game. Definitely what the Cubs were going on there looking for. I bet Coach Lewis went in the locker room, scripted up some plays that they're going to run to start this out.
Yeah, I would guess that he probably did. And with those adjustments that you talked about, and put another wrinkle in here after halftime, that's one thing. The Wolves are used to Coach McDonald. He was here last year. These kids have played under him. The Cubs are learning.
Yeah, they're learning how Coach Lewis is. They went through practice, but in a game, it's a whole different field. So now they learn how Coach Lewis is in a game. They're seeing his adjustments. They're learning how he likes to call plays during a game, and they're adjusting to his play style.
Now, when you played, more offense, more defense when you played, personally?
Personally, more offense.
Yeah. So, in practice, did you cheat a little bit because you knew what was coming?
Oh, absolutely. Especially you're on defense and you kind of know what the offense is going to run. Oh, you're going right to the hole where you know the ball's going to be there. In a game, you can't do that because you don't know what's going to come necessarily. Sometimes you can tell by their formation what plays they like to run.
Yeah, but if you cheat, you might get something right in the ear hole, like somebody else's helmet.
Oh, yeah. You don't. That's not fun when you go to cheat and all of a sudden you meet the pulling guard.
Yeah, because then you're on your back.
Yeah.
And the tailback's down the field for a first down and more. But, I was listening to some stuff today. I guess in the pro ranks, there was a practice between the Rams and Bengals that ended in a brawl.
Yeah. Yeah, put the 2 Super Bowl teams in a joint practice. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Donald was swinging a helmet around or something.
That's not a guy I'd want to get into it with.
But they talked about the fact that these practices are very important because when you're constantly playing your own team, you cheat.
Yeah, you do.
So that's what made me think of asking that question. And so from high school all the way to the pros, if you practice your own guys, you cheat a little.
And that's why Coach Lewis took him to the team camp at Evangel for a couple days, give him a look at somebody else, and you don't know what they're going to run. It gets you more of a game feel into it.
Now, you say a team camp. Was that an 11-on-11 team camp or 7-on-7?
They do different periods. So they'll do a 7-on-7 period, then they'll do it 11-on-11, and they'll have double-digit different teams there that they'll get a good look against to play against.
Oh, that's good. And I'm assuming that's probably short T-shirt and helmet.
You have helmet, shoulder pads on, and then the second day they do full pads and they're fully going.
Oh, okay. So.
They'll start it with just thud, and then their last period's full on contact.
Okay, now you said they start with thud.
So they'll go.
Now, I know what that means, but for our listeners.
So a thud, you go up, you hit, you wrap, but you just don't necessarily take them to the ground. Now on the line, they're going all out every play. Linemen are getting their work in all day.
Linemen always have to go all out.
Oh, yeah. Well, because if they don't, they get beat, and then they're getting their butts chewed. I'm going to get the least amount of on the team.
Spoken like a true lineman.
Absolutely.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening to the Remax Half. I hope you've learned as much as I have. Come home to the best real estate team in the area, Remax. We have successfully made it through halftime. Both teams on to the field. Cubs will have the ball. High but short kick that comes down at the 20. Takes a Wolves bounce inside the 10. Picked up there, and now the Cubs are in a peck of trouble all the way back to the 5-yard line. That was Marcus Young that got wrapped up.
Zach Preston got down the field very fast and wrapped Marcus Young up. I think he thought the ball was going to roll past him into the end zone. He realized it was going to stop, but a very bad position. Can't let the ball get by you in that spot.
Cardinal sin, don't let a kickoff hit the ground. You know, unless it's a squib kick and you have no choice or an onside, but that ball hit at about the 23-yard line and bounded all the way down to the 5, and that's where the Cubs have it. So now there's 95 yards between the Cubs and the end zone.
And like we just said, the momentum's very important right now coming out the half, and you don't want to start it like that. Reed Springs has committed to doing single coverage all night with their corners.
Yeah, we'll see if the Cubs take a shot downfield. Madrid will keep it himself right up the middle, and he's done that a couple times tonight. He's able to surge out across the 10 to the 11-yard line for a gain of 5 yards.
And number 5, Adam Lewis, picking up right where he left off with another tackle tonight. Madrid's done a very good job power running tonight.
Yes, he has. He really has. When he's cut it upfield, he's been very effective.
You can definitely tell the difference between this year and last year, the weight he's put on, the strength he's been able to add to his body.
Another year older, another year better. Madrid will run the option, and this time he's gang tackled at the line of scrimmage. A flag has come out.
Eben Crane in there for the stop for the Wolves.
It's going to be a legal procedure against the Cubs.
Now that's a penalty that happens a decent amount more with the triple option than for, say, a spread offense like Reed Springs runs because of all the different movements that you do have in the triple option offense.
Is it easier to get two guys in motion at the same time as well?
Absolutely, because you have a guy in motion pretty much every single play, and sometimes the wrong guy thinks he's going to go in motion. They both end up moving.
And that would be one of these, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Legal procedure.
Yeah. That doesn't help our listeners, but trust me, I know what I was talking about there. Second down, and there it goes. That's going to be a flag again. Should be, because there were two Cubs in motion.
Yeah, there's a flag right there close to the 10. As soon as I said it.
So I wonder if that's is that a dead ball, or do they allow the play to stand? If they do, the Cubs lost.
Yeah, they let the play go.
Well, they'll decline this penalty then, because the Cubs were thrown for a loss back to the 4, or back to the 1. That's going to be declined, so that's going to be a loss of 5. So now the Cubs are in really a difficult position. They have it inside their own 1, and they need to get to the 17. So it is third
Weiss
and...
is in there coming off the edge. Wolves are bringing 2 blitzers up the middle.
And a dive play up the middle might go for a yard. Gain of a couple on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th down and long.
Josh Lowe, number 56, in there for the Wolves to get the stop. Was not going to let him get by.
Josh Lowe on the tackle.
Not the start you're looking for if you're Monett.
No. And now the Cubs will boot it away.
And if you're the punt team here, you have to get good blocks and protection.
Here's the kick. It's a knuckleball out to the Cub 35. The return to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, and down near the 10. And boy, this is a start that the Wolves wanted. "32-yard punt and a return down inside the 15. They'll put him down at the 12-yard line, looks like. 1st and 10 for the Wolves.
So we're going to need one of those big defense stops now.
Timeout on the field called by the Cubs. We'll keep it right here. 10-11 left here in the third quarter. The Cubs down 7-0, and the Wolves have it 1st and 10 from the Cubs 12. And let's recap what transpired here since halftime. Opening kickoff of the third quarter. Hits the ground, bounds down inside the 10. Marcus Young tackled at about the 5 or 6. Okay.
Yep.
Cubs get out across the 10, but then push back because of a penalty.
Legal procedure.
Okay. Then they had a loss of 5.
Yeah.
Back to the 1. Had to plunge out to get a little breathing room. A low line drive punt that's returned to the 12. Nothing good there for the Cubs.
And on that illegal procedure there, both the backs saw each other go in motion. So then, even though they're supposed to get the ball, they see the other one like, oh, we just got a flag, and they slow down more than they should on the run. So then they were getting dropped for the loss.
That's exactly what happened. You're absolutely right. So now, but the Cubs have a chance here to turn things around with their defense. Burrow, the quarterback, takes the snap. Here's a reverse to Abshire, running far side to the 10, and he steps out there. Good pursuit there from the Cubs, a gain of only a couple.
Looks like Connor Pointer getting out there quick. Hinojosa did a good job pushing him outside and not letting him cut up field.
Yeah, absolutely. He expanded the play to the sideline.
Mm-hmm. Made him go horizontal instead of vertical.
So just like in the first half, the Wolves came out on the first play with a little trickery.
I was curious to see if they would. They have a very creative playbook, and I knew they'd want to score early on this drive.
2nd down and 8. Here's an inside handoff. Up the middle it goes, inside the 10 down to about the 7.
Ryan Whitnell with the tackle.
You're going to have to help me with that. Number 17. Chase
Bolin.
Bolin picks up about 3 yards.
The Cubs have him on 3rd and 5 here. This would be a huge stop for the defense if they're able to hold them.
It would. The ball resting at the 7-yard line. Burl continues to work out of the shotgun. He takes the snap and he gives to Bolin up the middle, and Bolin dives for the 1st down. He'll have the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.
Connor Pointer getting in there again for the tackle for the Cubs, but not before you get a 1st down.
Well, I tell you what, we saw Wiest take a snap in the first half. I just give it to him.
Yeah, he's a big, powerful runner. I just hand it to him, or even a direct snap.
Look, he's in the backfield.
Yep. This could be a direct snap to Wiest right here.
Boy, he's awful
or
short,
he's just going to be a lead blocker, it looks like.
Oh, it's a high snap. And the Cubs get to the quarterback in the backfield. That high snap disrupted the play completely, and that'll be a loss of at least 3 yards.
Diego Baden saw the high snap and flew to the backfield to get the quarterback. And he got the tackle.
Yeah, it's a loss of 3. Yeah, that snap. The snap's been high most of the night.
Look at high snaps, I've noticed.
So now let's keep our eye on Wiest here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to quarterback now. See, there he is. Wiest is at quarterback. He takes the snap and he's going to run it himself up the middle. He goes. Touchdown, Wolves.
He was met by a Cub, but they could not bring him down.
So Wiest scores from 4 yards out at the 8:05 mark here in the third quarter. And the Wolves lead at 13-0 with the PAT upcoming. Snap back ball down, and now the holder in trouble with it as he dropped the snap, tries to throw it, and it's incomplete, and the score remains 13-0.
His pass attempt was shut down by number 12, Jake Hoy, who grabbed onto him, was not going to let him get a clean pass off.
Here in the third quarter, the score 13-0. A reminder that the third quarter brought to you by Quick Draw Gun, offering you the area's largest selection of firearms, ammunition, and accessories. That's Quick Draw Gun in Monett. The Wolves lead at 13-0. Not the start you were looking for if you're a Cubs fan.
Absolutely not. They needed to get a good start off in the second half. They didn't. Now they're in a bigger hole, and they're going to need to get a good drive going here.
And it starts with a good return, on this kickoff.
Special teams, it's very important to get the good field position. Right now, Reed Springs has won the field position battle this game on special teams, especially those punts. They've had good returns. They've had good kickoffs. And on their opening return, they got to the 30, so they weren't backed up at all.
Yeah, right now you'd have to say that the Wolves are winning the special teams play.
Absolutely. And when the Cubs had their drive, they had to go a long distance down the field, whereas Reed Springs started a lot closer on theirs.
Here's a low line drive kick that is fielded at the 14, return to the 20, 25-30, and out to about the 33. That was Hildebrand with the return.
24 is Zach Preston in there for the stop for the Wolves.
Now, Hildebrand did a good job there. He took the ball and he ran with it. He got upfield as quickly as he could.
One thing about Hildebrand, he's a very quick athlete.
Yeah, very fast. And he was able to angle it to the near sideline and was able to get out to the 34. So, about an 18 or 20-yard return there. And the Cubs with much better field position here at their own 34-yard line.
I believe Hildebrand took one to the house last year against Lamar on a kickoff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I believe you're right. Here's a dive play. No, actually a pitch to the right side. Good ball handling by Madrid, and he's able to get it to Connor Pointer.
Dan Filflate, number 10, in there for the stop for the Wolves. Davin did a great job reading the defensive end there and pulling it at the last second.
A gain of 11 and a first down. That first down brought to you by Sonic Drive-In in Monett, home of the daily happy hour from 2 to 4 p.m. Cubs with 8 first downs. Reed Spring was 6 tonight. First and 10 Cubs.
Bringing pressure.
And Madrid will take it right up the middle, and he'll get it out to the 47 for a gain of 2 yards.
He was met by big number 59, Evan Crane.
Well, he must see something there. He must see that pressure is coming between guard and tackle. And
he likes that QB sneak play.
Yep.
Especially with how much pressure they bring off the edge there. As you can see now, they're bringing pressure off the edge. Couple blitzers.
Here's option play.
Madrid does a good job getting that out.
He did, and it's going to be a gain of about 5 yards for the Cubs.
Jace Bolin, number 17, stop for the Red Wolves.
Gain of 5 on the play.
What's interesting in the triple option offense is you don't block the defensive ends because of that being the dive key. So that's why you see the defensive end getting in there a lot, really close to
Third down and 4 the Cubs, the Wolves 49. Long count here by Madrid.
Off the edge.
Here's option play near side, and Madrid is hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll go down for a loss of a yard.
Number 10, Dan Filflett, read the play perfectly and would not commit on the running back and was able to wrap up Davin Madrid.
You know, you talked about those defensive ends not being blocked. I had a younger brother that played quarterback, and one night he was playing against 2 all-state defensive ends.
Not a fun night.
No, he didn't get out of bed until Sunday. Okay, Saturday did not exist for him. He was hit literally on every play. But his team gained between 200 and 300 yards on the ground, too. So,
price you pay.
Team player. Yeah. He might say something different if we talk to him.
You also don't block the outside linebackers in this offense because that's the pitch key when Davin pulls it out after faking to the fullback.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, the defensive end. Okay, if he crashes on the quarterback, it's obviously a pitch, correct?
Okay, so the defensive end, if he crashes, it's normally to the fullback, so Davin's going to pull the ball out and keep it. And then the outside linebacker, if he commits to Davin, he'll pitch it, or if he commits to the running back, Davin keeps it.
Okay.
So you don't block the defensive end or the outside linebacker on the side you're running to.
Okay, and I think the offense that my brother was running was the outside veer. Okay, so I think he was constantly getting hit by the defensive ends.
Absolutely. And some of those defensive ends, they'll get used to the quarterback keeping it, and they'll buy on the quarterback, and that's when they get used to giving it to the fullback. The only play the fullback's not getting hit immediately was when the defensive end finally commits to the quarterback.
Well, they must have committed all night long to him because he did not feel good for a long while. And he was supposed to be the backup quarterback that year, but something happened to the starting quarterback.
Oh, something was happening to him, too.
So life was great for him for a while. He was holding a clipboard, you know, but then he became the starter. Things changed drastically. 4th down and 5 from midfield. And a stop in action here.
One-on-one coverage on the near side over here.
Yeah, it's Meeks out here to the near side.
Very lengthy.
Yeah, he's 6'6", I believe is when he definitely has a height advantage out here, I'll say that. 4th down and 5. Madrid.
Weiss coming off the edge.
Back to pass, and Madrid is hit, and down he goes.
That's Evan Crane in there for the stop, number 59 for the Wolves. He got right through the offensive line and was able to get a sack. He came up the middle and Weiss came off the edge, and they both had a clear lane to him. Running back decided to block Weiss. Left gain open to tackle Madrid.
So the Wolves will take over 1st and 10 from the Cub 41, and now it is really tough times here for the Cubs. They need to come up with some big plays here on defense, get it back into the hands of the offensive unit.
Like we said earlier, the field position difference, Reed Spring starting a lot closer than Monett does.
Back to pass, the quarterback fires over the middle, and it is caught inside the 15.
Marcus Young, the original defender, able to bring him down. Chavez went up trying to get interception, but he just came up short.
Good pass that time from Burrell down to Abshire from the 41 to the 14, so a gain of 27 and a 1st down.
Abshire made a very nice catch there.
Yeah, he went up high and got it. Here is the quarterback looking to throw and has Abshire. He is into the end zone for the touchdown. 14-yard score. So that drive was all Burrell and Abshire. 2 passes, 2 receptions, 41 yards, and it's 19-0. Couple of good-looking throws there by Burrell.
He's really done a good job the second half. Compared to the first half, his bats were a little wobbly, a little shaky, probably getting the nerves out. He's got the rust off. He's been swinging the ball well.
PAT on its way. The kick is up. It is good. 4:47 left here in the 3rd quarter. It's all Wolves. Reed Spring 20, Monett nothing. Back after this timeout. behind pay dirt. And work their way back into this game. Down 20-0 here with 4:47 left. Ball will be placed down at the 35. First and 10 for the Cubs. Madrid will remain at quarterback.
Single coverage outside.
Here's a dive play for the Cubs off right guard. Harvey with a run. Able to pound it out to the 39 for a gain of 4 yards.
Dan Philflett in there for the stop for the Wolves. That big defensive line met Harvey up there. That defensive line front they have is just very hard to move.
Second down and 6. Here's an option play. Pitch back to tailback. That's Pointer. And Pointer gets it out near the 45.
Josh Lowe, number 56, in there for the tackle, and there are flags on the play.
That's actually Hoyt with a run that time.
Late flag, definitely going to be a personal on somebody.
It was well after the play. Officials get together. It's unsportsmanlike.
Offsetting.
Offsetting. It's so it was post play for the Cubs after the gain of 6 on the carry. That first down brought to by Monett's Sonic Drive-In. Come in after the game for a burger, tots, and a nice cold Coca-Cola.
Man, does that sound good right now.
Boy, it does.
Those penalties usually happen when you're engaged in a block and both guys keep going through the whistle. Emotions are high.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, the ball's on the ground. The ball's on the ground. And the Wolves say they have it, and they do. Weiss comes out of there with the recovery.
Weiss got the fumble, but Adam Lewis was in there to force the fumble. He made a nice hit on the fullback, jarring the ball loose.
And it didn't look like the fullback really got
No, it was during the
ball.
exchange. Lewis got in there quick, was able to deliver a blow. So it made that handoff exchange very difficult.
Yeah, and Madrid was trying to pull the ball back out. They were all converged at the same time. The
Once
ball
the
came
fullback's
loose.
hit and you're trying to pull it out, fullback doesn't know if they should hold on or let go. It creates a hard situation.
Here's Abshire on a sweep, running left side, makes one man miss, and then steps out of bounds after a gain of about 4 yards.
Eric Chavez did a good job not giving him the sideline. Was able to drag him out of bounds.
I tell you, Abshire's got some speed, and they try to utilize him in the run game often. He's run the ball 3 times with a score tonight and has a touchdown reception as well.
Having him and Weiss, it's a very good duo for them. 2 guys they throw the ball to quite often.
2nd and 6. Here's blue ball, sidesteps one tackler on his feet and then drives down to about the 40. A good hard run that nets blue ball 3 yards.
Isaac Tickner in there for the stop for the Cubs. Originally, the hit was in the backfield, but he was able to shake it off and get forward.
There was good pursuit from the Cubs there, and they
There
made him
was.
really work, but the running back for the Wolves was able to make something out of nothing. 3rd down and 3 from the Cub 40.
The Cubs have done a good job tonight pursuing to the football. Cubs bringing pressure.
Here's blue ball up the middle, and he'll have the first down and more down to the Cub 31 for a gain of 9 yards.
Isaac Tickner and Connor Pointer in there to tackle him for the Cubs.
And unofficially, blue ball now over 100 yards with 102.
Blue ball has done a very good job running the football tonight. He's a tough, hard runner.
And I will say very unofficial stats. When I'm doing them, I'd love to say they're official, but I don't believe they are. 1st and 10 for the Wolves from the Cub 31.
Weist in the backfield, Monett showing pressure. High snap again.
And here's blue ball. He cuts it left side and is able to dive down to about the 26 or 27.
Meeks did a good job chasing him down there.
He did. A gain of, we'll say, a gain of 4 on the play.
Diego Baden also getting on the stop.
2nd down and 6 upcoming as the ball is outside the Cub 27. Clock rolls here in the 3rd quarter. Inside 2 minutes, and a reminder that 3rd quarter is being brought to you by Quick Draw Gun in Monett. They have a knowledgeable and experienced staff to help you with your selection and offer training for you to safely handle your firearms.
We split out now.
Here's a counter play, and good run there by blue ball again as he'll pick up another 1st down.
Jordan Thompson getting in there for the tackle for the Cubs. Reed Springs put Weist out wide, drew all the attention over there, and ran counter the opposite direction.
Yeah, and that was a new look. We haven't seen that counter play. And the Cubs defense appears to be wearing down just a little bit now. They've been on the field much of this 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Wolves. Out of the shotgun, here's blue ball again, running left side, and this time Cubs there to knock him down after a short gain. We'll call it a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Jordan Thompson in there again for another stop. Him and Hinojosa.
I tell you what, you called their names often tonight. Those guys have been playing well. Inside 35 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Second down and 9 for the Wolves. Quarterback looking to throw, spins and throws far side and overshoots his receiver. That time the quarterback sprinted right, spun and threw left.
That's a very risky pass because if the defender goes up there, they can make a decent interception and all their running room ahead of them. Eric Chavez was there on the coverage, didn't even give the wide receiver much of a chance. As soon as it was touched, he hit them.
You know what? The Wolves do have some creativity in that playbook.
They ran the triple option for years. They've switched to the spread, and they have been very creative in the past couple years with their new coach.
3rd down and 9. Big play here for the Cubs. They really, really need a stop here. Burrell takes the snap, and he gives to his tailback who gets inside the 10, close to the 1st down. That was Daniel with a run, a fresh back, and he's very close to the 1st down.
Connor Pointer in there for the stop for Monett. That is a close to the 1st down there.
It will be 4th and 1 as we conclude the 3rd quarter, which was brought to you by Quick Draw Gun in Monett. You know, throughout the season, the Talon Sports Network sponsors a number of great giveaways throughout the football season. And it's that time for tonight's TSN giveaway. So I'm giving everybody an opportunity here to listen in. Be the first to call 417-489-2277 and say the catchphrase, "Go Cubs," and you'll receive 2 passes to the Monett B&B Theater. Again, be the first person to call 417-489-2277, and you need to say "Go Cubs," and you will receive 2 passes to the Monett B&B Theater. Good luck to all of our listeners this evening. Okay, I had a couple stories for you, and I've forgotten them. You know, college player, started. He was announced as a starter, okay? His team kicked off to start the game. He was supposed to be on the defensive line. He wasn't there. The team ran a play, gained 8 yards. The coaching staff went ballistic, right? He got in there on second down, made a tackle for loss for 2 yards. On third down, he had a sack and made up for his mistake on first down when he wasn't on the field. One of my former students. Fourth down play, here's Weiss. Weiss fumbles the ball, and he will not get the first down. He was slammed down, and I think he lost the ball.
Cubs did a very good job getting forward there. Eric Chavez is down.
Yeah, he is, down near the goal line, away from the play. I tell you what, that was the hit of the night right there. Weiss thought he was going to pick up a first down, and they popped him. He lost the ball.
The Monett defense came, and they hit him hard right there at the line. That's the first time we've seen Weiss go backwards all night.
Yeah, that was a big play, and it kind of keeps the Cubs in it here as we start the fourth quarter. And the fourth quarter being brought to you tonight by Wintech, with facilities in Monett and Cassville. Wintech is an employee-owned company specializing in the building materials industry. Thanks to Wintech for sponsoring the fourth quarter.
We're seeing Eric Chavez being helped off the field here. That could be a big loss, especially in the kicking game. He's the kicker for the Cubs. If we need to kick an extra point or even a field goal, Eric Chavez would be the person to do that.
Boy, that was a good play. I tell you, hit of the night. You said Weiss went backwards. He won't go backwards very many times this year.
And Hoy was one of the first ones there. He flew upfield. The Monett defensive line met him.
Here come the Cubs. Dive play left side. Pointer with running room across the 15, out to about the 18.
Dan Filth there for the Wolves.
It's a gain of 7. Second down and 3 for the Cubs.
Curious to see if we see the Cubs try and maybe throw the ball a little bit more later here in the game.
Oh, I bet we have a winner to our contest.
Reed Springs bringing pressure.
And here is an option play, and Madrid is short of the first down. He picked up maybe a yard.
Phil led him there, right there on the edge, along with number 5, Adam Lewis. Adam Lewis has had a very good game defensively for the Wolves.
Okay, this is not rigged, by the way. The winner tonight is Linda Finsky. So congratulations to Linda. Not my wife, not my daughter. A cousin, most definitely, but not immediate family. Congratulations, Linda, and thank you for listening to Monett Cub football. And by the way, they said there were tons of callers. So thanks to everyone for listening in tonight. Here come the Cubs on 3rd and 2, and a first down run, a good hard run. And the Cubs drive will continue.
James Dowdy was the first one there to grab on, and number 5, Adam Lewis, came in to clean up the tackle with him. A Wolf is down.
That was Harvey with a carry.
Harvey did a very good job being a physical runner there.
And he picked up about 8 on the play, I believe. Timeout on the field is one of the Wolves down on the field.
Looks like a cramp, which we haven't seen many cramps tonight, which usually first game of the year you would get that, but with how much the air cooled down after the rain came in, you haven't seen very many cramps.
Yeah, if it was 90, you'd see a lot.
So usually those first 3 weeks, you're going to see a lot of cramps.
And what are you supposed to do? Hydrate.
Hydrate, drink water, pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Mustard.
You know, when I played football 100 years ago, they told us that water was was not the route to go. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
What
They
was
give us
the route to go?
Salt pills.
Salt pills.
Worst thing you could possibly give a kid. If you dare get out to the water hose, you only got a sip, and it's time to get back out there.
Well, funny story, when Rob Hazelton, our athletic trainer here at Monett, his first year here, first game, someone got a cramp, and he brought out a bottle of mustard and told them to open, because that's what he would squirt in their mouth and tell them to swallow. Had never seen anyone do that. He walks out to the field, pops it open your mouth, squirts a thing of mustard in there.
Did it cure the cramp?
It helped. And then we use it after the game with our hot dogs.
Never heard of it. Now, I've heard of pickle juice.
Pickle juice, yes. They actually sell that in little glasses now for athletes.
Why don't you just give some kids some relish? If you're going to give them mustard, give them some relish.
Rob prefers mustard, I guess.
God. I'm going to learn lots this year. You're going to teach me a lot of stuff this year. I love it. Well, we'll see if the Cubs can keep this drive going after a first down, brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Cubs with 10 first downs now. Here's a dive play, and the Wolves are there to knock down the tailback, Harvey. Harvey will lose maybe a yard on the play.
He was met by none other than number 30, Caden Weiss there.
Loss of 1 yard brings up second down and 11.
And he just flows to the ball very quickly.
For a big guy.
He moves very well for a big guy his size.
You know, he's committed to go to Missouri State, so obviously you're going to play at that level, you got to move.
And he's nationally rated, which is a very big honor, especially in this area at this size of school.
And the Cubs have done a relatively good job containing him.
And he has double-digit Division I offers.
Second down and 11. Back to pass Madrid. He has time. He throws it deep left side. Has a man, but it is underthrown and knocked away. Good coverage there. If Madrid could have got a little more air underneath that, the Cubs had a shot. But
Tracy Cobb got in there to break up the pass for the Cubs. Looked like it was about to be a big, huge play for the Cubs, and Cobb got in there and broke it up.
It was just slightly underthrown. A couple more
yards. If he could have got the ball out a little bit faster, he could have had him.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. It wasn't about throwing it further. It was throwing it quicker.
That way, if he throws it quicker, he doesn't have to get it as far. He catches Young in stride there, and he's off and running. And then it's a race between him and Cobb.
And Young wins that race many times.
And yeah, Young is a very fast athlete.
Third down and 11 for the Cubs.
The Wolves are going to bring pressure. Lewis is blitzing up the middle.
Yeah, they've got their inside backers ready to come in after the quarterback.
Coming off the edge.
Here's a option left side, and a good hard run close to the first down for the Monett Cubs.
Pointer on the carry. Pushed out of bounds by number 17, Jace Bolin.
Jace Bolin in there for the stop for the Wolves. 4th and short.
Gain of 8 yards. That'll bring up 4th down and about 3.
3 yards to go for Monett.
I tell you, those yellow numerals on the white jerseys just so difficult.
Very hard to see the number. I never realized that.
4th down and a long 2 for the Cubs. Here's Madrid, and Madrid keeping the legs driving, and he is close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot, and they're going to say it's a first down.
Evan Crane got there very quick to meet Madrid, but it was not fast enough as Madrid got there for the first down.
First down brought to you by Sonic Drive-In in Monett. Make it your hangout after tonight's game. Monett's Sonic Drive-In. A favorable spot for the Cubs.
Yeah, it almost looked like the Red Wolves stopped him short, but ref pushed it forward for the first down.
From the 38-yard line, 1st and 10 Cubs.
Reed Springs still in single coverage out on the outside. Pass.
Madrid back to pass now. He'll run it upfield, and a flag comes out. Madrid will have a first down, but this one's probably going to come back. This is going to be probably a hold on the Cubs.
Ran down by number 30, Caden Weist. And, man, he ran him down fast.
Yeah, it's a hold against the Cubs.
And a penalty like that really kills your momentum because you just pick up a run like that, you're feeling good, and then you just bring it back for the flag.
Yeah, it would have been 1st and 10 near midfield, and now it's going to be 1st and about 23 from the 25 line.
Second half, penalties are really calling for Monett. Crucial ways, big plays getting brought back as a penalties.
And field position. I mean, those two things in the second half are really.
Well, the penalties have led into the field
true.
position, too.
That's true. Kind of hand in glove. So the clock rolls at 8:30 left here in the 4th and final period.
Well, it would have been a nice run for Davin Madrid.
Yeah, one of his better runs of the night. Davin under center will give on a sweep near side with running room out to the 34-yard line.
58, Braden Manning in there for the tackle, his first tackle of the night.
Gain of 9. Second down, we'll call it 14. Cubs come out with wide receiver split left and right. Wing backs on each side. One tailback is Harvey.
Springs bringing blitz up the middle.
Here comes a jet sweep. That's Hoyt running far side. He'll pick up maybe a yard, and he'll bring up 3rd down and long.
And that's Evan Crane in there to get the stop, number 59. He's done a very good job tonight getting through the line.
Yes, you've mentioned him on a number of plays. 3rd down, we'll call it 13.
He hasn't over-pursued upfield. He stayed where he's supposed to in his lane and able to move down the line very well.
Assignment football, right? Doing your assignment.
Do your assignment, trust everyone else is doing theirs.
Yeah, it's when you start trying to do someone else's job is when you get in trouble, isn't it? 3rd down, 13. Back to pass Madrid with time. Throws down the middle, and this one is incomplete. And it'll bring up 4th down.
Addison Abshire on the coverage for the Wolves. Looked like it could have been a completion for Monett, but it went through the hands.
Yeah, Hildebrand was down there, and he kind of hooked up and jumped up and got it and went through and hit him in the chest.
Abshire was right there next to him as well.
Fourth down, the Cubs in punt formation. A good snap. The kick is a high kick this time. Fair catch called for and received at the 34-yard line.
Weiss came quick off the edge, almost got a block on the punt, but the Cubs were able to get it off.
That's a 31-yard punt with no return. And the Wolves will take over with 6:36 left here in the 4th quarter, leading 20-0. The 4th quarter brought to you by Wintech. If becoming a part of an employee-owned family enterprise is for you, feel free to buy Wintech's Monett office at 201 Industrial Drive.
That lineman run out there, and then he ran back off.
That's unusual motion. Here's a handoff up the middle, and a good hard run for them. The Wolves out to about the 39.
It's like Jake Hoyt's in there for the stop. And, man, you're right. Those yellow numbers are hard to see.
Yeah, especially when you're this far from the action. Now, when you're at Seneca and you're a little bit closer to the field, a little bit easier.
But when you're a player, you love the yellow numbers because we all thought they looked really cool.
Well, of course they do. When you're 5 feet from them.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
when you're
wearing
wearing them.
it and you're right next to each other. Yeah, they look great.
You know what color they need to be, though, now, don't you? Purple. I could see a purple number.
You easily could see a purple number.
I can see 14 out
like
here.
Chavez right here,
Yeah,
easily easy to see.
Here's an inside handoff, and this time the
met by
Cubs.
Fernando Hinojosa.
Boy, he has played a game. A gain of only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Hinojosa broke through the line quick and was able to get the initial hit on him.
One thing we need to be
cleaned up by Pointer.
One thing we need to be thinking about too tonight is player of the game. We're bringing player of the game back into our broadcast, so we need to be thinking of that as we go along the rest of this one.
Connor Pointer's done a very good job both ways, offense and defensively.
3rd down, we'll call it 3rd and 4.
Monett needs a stop here. Monett bringing blitz.
Stop in action as the officials blow the play dead.
Mouthpiece.
Yep. Well, Cubs got to see the play up front, didn't they? Now they're going to go ahead and call an official's timeout. Timeout with 4:56 left here in the 4th and the final period. And, you know, again, you know, I want to take the opportunity just to thank all of our sponsors, Ryan. We mentioned that we had 20 in-game sponsor mentions and 34 sponsors that have run commercials.
Quite a bit this year.
Oh, my goodness. And, you know, it makes our job possible. It allows us to come out here and broadcast these games and also allows us to, you know, broadcast the internet TV as well. And, you know, I do need to mention once again Sean Baker and Dan Crouch. Those two guys really helped us behind the scenes, setting up our hardware and software for the video production and getting our upgraded video equipment website ready to roll. So thank you so much to those guys.
Monett's bringing pressure up the middle.
And a flag here.
Looks like a false start here.
Yeah, I think everybody was on 1 except for the center. I think the center was on 2. Everybody
That's
else.
the center. You got to know the snap count.
Yeah, kind of important because you kind of start to play. But you know that happens a lot.
Oh,
it
absolutely.
does.
Especially when they're doing a quick count like that and you're a lineman, you're tired, you're up physical every single play. You're tired. Sometimes you don't hear it exactly right and you think you're just going on 1. Maybe you're going on set and you don't snap the ball in time and everyone else takes off.
And you know what? What's the coach going to say to that? That's not an excuse.
Yes, they're going to say, some of them are going to say it's not the center's fault because you all should be watching the ball.
Here is a handoff to the tailback who breaks a couple of tackles and
Flag
is able to
comes
pick
in.
up a couple, and a flag does come in late. That is a late flag. It's going to be holding against
Looks like
the Wolves.
Evan Witt was in there for the tackle.
It's going to be 4th and about 7, or if the Cubs take the penalty, it'll be 3rd.
Yeah, you take the decline
yeah.
here. They're going to need to get down the field and score quickly here. Don't let it.
You know, 2 men back deep.
You could be creative with 2 guys back there. You can run a reverse, fake reverse, but you have to field the ball cleanly to do so. Reed Springs making a late substitution.
Line of scrimmage is the 37. And the kick is an end-over-end kick that'll go out of bounds around the 30. 13, 23, 33. I'm counting my yardage here. See where they're going to put him. 31-yard punt. No return, and the Cubs will take over 1st and 10. 4:44 left here in the 4th quarter. Fords are wild here at Reed Spring. Cubs down by 3 scores. It's 20-0. It would really be nice for them, the Cubs, to get a drive put together and get a score tonight.
Absolutely, it would. And even if it comes too late, you're not able to come back and win this game, you still put that together and something to build on for the next game.
From the 32-yard line, here come the Cubs. Madrid will work under center.
Lewis up blitzing for the Wolves.
Back to pass. Flush from the pocket, and down he goes. A sack back inside the 30-yard line.
That's Josh Lowe getting the sack for the Wolves. And we give him credit to the Cubs defense tonight, but the Wolves defense has played very well all night as well. Especially their defensive front that they have.
Loss of 7 on the play. And there have been some tackles for loss, but I believe that's the first sack tonight for the Wolves. Second down and about 17 yards to go here for the Cubs. Wide receiver split wide to the right. Two backs
showing blitz
behind the quarterback. Here's a handoff up the middle. Yeah, the blitz, it was a run blitz. And
Adam Lewis was all over that one, came on the blitz and met the running back right there in the hole. He also had Moses Barr along with him to make the stop. And Moses Barr is a big defensive lineman up there. Reed Springs has very good size.
Yeah, across the front especially. And, you know, some of their D-backs have showcased some good speed and closing speed on some plays. So.
And the defensive lineman, the conditioning has looked very well tonight as well. They haven't looked very tired.
This play is going to come back. They may decline it. It's a gain of maybe a yard on the dive play.
Evan Crane in there for the Red Wolves. But again, you have those two wingbacks going motion at the same time.
They'll decline and it'll bring up 4th and long. Well, there is a learning curve each and every year, especially with a new regime in and new starters.
New system. The Cubs have ran the triple option in the past, but now you have Coach Lewis's version of that. His, what he calls the plays, the blocking assignments. Your assignment on certain plays can change.
4th and long for the Cubs. And they will keep the offensive unit on the field. And now there is a timeout on the field called by the Cubs with 3 minutes left here. And this one, just a reminder that this 4th quarter is being brought to you by Wintech. If becoming a part of an employee-owned family enterprise is for you, feel free to stop by Wintech's Monett office at 201 Industrial Drive or visit www.wintechinc.com and click on the Careers tab. You know, there's some good things that can come out of this game, even if the score remains 20-0. You know, the defense has played well really throughout much of this game. And
you also learn some things that you need to fix, adjust to, some things you need to work on. For example, field position and special teams have been key. Reed Springs has won the special teams battle, so that's something the Cubs can work on in practice this coming week.
Cubs now elect to kick the ball away from the 26. High tumbling kick at the 37. 24, 34, 37-yard punt, so the best effort of the night there. And with 2:54 left, the Wolves take over, leading 20-0. I tell you, the guy that runs the music here is phenomenal.
Oh, he's having a great time tonight.
He's went deep into his playbook.
Oh, it hasn't been repetitive. He's been changing it up.
Playing a little Star Wars action right now.
Can't complain about Star Wars.
Oh, here's a high snap, and it goes perfectly to the tailback, who is wrapped up and thrown down.
Monett flew to the running back. He was able to field the fumble. It wasn't really a fumble, it was a high snap. Isaiah Meeks in there, along with Ryan Withnell and Connor Pointer. Or not Connor Pointer, Jake Hoyt. His yellow numbers.
Yep, there you go. Loss of 9 on the play, 2nd and 19. So, you know, the tailback was Johnny on the spot, and he got rewarded with a -9.
One reason for those high snaps could be on those draws is then it's supposed to get upfield, so we try and take off a little bit too early on the snap. He's putting too much on it.
You know, I bet you're right. Here's a good snap and a handoff
Connor
to the
Pointer meets
tailback.
him right there, brings him down.
Yeah, good effort there by Pointer. A gain of maybe a yard.
Another man in the backfield again is Fernando Hinojosa. He doesn't have a lot of tackles, but he's been in the backfield causing havoc almost every play.
You know, there's no gain on that play. It might have been a loss of a half a yard. It's 3rd and 19. And now the Wolves just taking their time here and allowing the clock to run.
Jake Hoyce done a phenomenal job at safety tonight.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of plays. He really is.
He does a very good job getting upfield to get running tackles as well.
You know, you got that 3 levels on defense. You got your guys up front, you got your linebackers, you got your D-backs. You need to have all 3 of those levels playing well together.
Absolutely.
Timeout, Reed Springs. We'll keep it right here with 1:04 left here in the 4th quarter.
And there really hasn't been a position on defense where you would think it's a weakness for the Cubs.
No, you're right. You know, they had the one drive here in the second half where they gave up 2 pass plays, you know, and the first of those 2 pass plays was a tremendous catch by the receiver.
The defenders were there. Eric Chavez almost had an interception. It was just short, and then Marcus was right behind him to get the tackle. The receiver just went up, high-pointed the ball, and made a phenomenal catch.
Yeah, he did. He went up and got it at its highest point. You're right. And then, you know, then the other touchdown was field position. And then, you know, there was one breakdown in the first half, but I'm telling you, you're right.
I would say the strength is probably the defensive line for the Cubs.
Yeah, they've made a number of plays tonight, and
even when they're not getting the tackle, they've been able to get decent penetration going.
3rd down and 19. Here's a dive play up the middle that goes nowhere. A loss of another yard will be 4th and 20.
76-pointer Reed there for the stop for the Cubs. And he's a big old boy from Monett.
Yes. Well, they're not starting the play clock. I guess we want to make sure that this is the final play of the game. That play clock set at 40 for about 5 seconds. Down on the booted away here. Kick is a line drive. It is going down to the Cub 38-yard line.
Well, we'll get 15 seconds, see what we got.
Yeah. So it's 23 plus 12 is 35-yard punt.
I can tell you this, though. Monett can look and say they're only going to get 20 points a game. I think they like where they're at.
Yeah, this is a team that gave up over 30 points a game last year.
Now you go to just 20. I think you trust your offense in games to come to score more than that.
Yeah, Cubs last year scored 17.3 a game, gave up 31.4. Yeah, if you get offense clicking, 20 a game gives yourself a chance to win. 1st and 10 for the Cubs with 15 seconds left.
And only one of them was actually a long drive for a touchdown.
You're right. Here is a dive play up the middle. Good hard run between the tackles.
And the final tackle, number 5, Adam Lewis in there for the stop for the Wolves. Cubs are hurrying to the line. And the play is over.
That takes us to the end of this game. Our final score from Reed Spring High School, the Wolves 20, the Monett Cubs nothing. We'll be back with the postgame show after this timeout. Okay, let me come back.
Okay.
Then you over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and fans may leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how you will be remembered. Be sure to choose good sportsmanship. This message was brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Aurora, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Neosho, and Joplin. This game also brought to you in part by the law offices of Randall Mastery and Randall, your hometown professional law office specializing in estate and real estate law. Count on them for professional results. Call 235-8688. Game also brought to you in part by Home Shield Pest Control, providing a safe defense from pests in your home and or your business. Home Shield Pest Control is your quality, affordable pest service provider. Call 772-4177. The final in this one, the Cubs defeated by the Wolves by the score of 20-0. And with a look at tonight's scoring recap, here is my broadcast partner, Ryan McCullough.
Well, in the second half, at 8:05 mark of the third, Caden Weiss got a 3-yard touchdown run. Bad hold and ended up trying to throw the ball in for the 2-point conversion. That ended up being no good. And then also in the third quarter, the 4:47 mark, Abshire got a 14-yard touchdown pass from Brule. Extra point was good. That made the score 20-0, and that is what it stayed throughout the rest of the game.
So the Wolves scored in the game's first drive to go up 7-0, and then 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to salt it away as they win it 20-0 here tonight against the Monett Cubs. We're going to slip away here from some of our outstanding sponsors, and we will slip back in to the post-game show and talk it over with head coach Lewis after we get him. We're going to send Ryan down to the field to make sure that Coach Lewis remembers to come up here. We'll be back with more of the post-game show after this timeout. Cubs Cafe thanks you for staying tuned to the postgame show and wishes everyone a safe trip home. Offering breakfast fuel for the Monett Cubs, be sure to stop in to Cubs Cafe for a great breakfast in the morning. The final score in this one, Reed Spring 20, Monett nothing. We still waiting for Coach Lewis to make his way to the press box. And as we do, we'll take a quick look at some individual stats in tonight's ball game. The Reed Spring Wolves led on the ground by Blue Ball, their talented tailback, with 116 yards. Burrow, the quarterback, 7 of 10 tonight as he spread the ball out to 4 different receivers. Abshire, one of his favorite targets tonight, with 41 yards and a touchdown. For the Monett Cubs, they were led by Connor Pointer, 69 yards. Josh Harvey right at 33 yards. Devin Madrid with 26 yards tonight. Behind early, 7-0. The defense for the remainder of the first half. And then as the game transpired, the Wolves just tacked on a couple extra scores in the third quarter, much because of field positions. We're joined in the postgame by Coach Lewis, and I appreciate him coming up.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Have a seat, Coach. Glad to meet you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ethan Lewis.
Ethan Lewis, Benji Finsky.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Well, you know, a lot to be learned from a week one game, but I thought, you know, after an initial drive, your defense played really, really well.
Absolutely. To be honest, our defense played lights out. We were really excited about that and excited about how they responded.
They really did. And, you know, a couple scores in the second half, but much of that was because of field position issues.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, we had the one miscommunication on the opening kickoff at the half. And, you know, anytime you have that happen, I mean, that it can certainly put you in a hole.
You know, and the ball hit at about the 25, and you ended up starting that drive at about the 7. And, you know, you really had some momentum going into halftime, and you really like to keep that going, and that kind of made things tough on your defense.
Absolutely, yeah, and for sure, and that without question. I mean, that right there, you know, you come out of the half and you're expecting to have the ball in good field position, you're expecting to do some things with it, and when that doesn't happen, it definitely takes a little toll on you.
Now, on the offensive side, there were signs of some big plays there as well, too. Your back seemed to run really hard at times.
Absolutely. You know, to be honest, I felt like our backs ran hard for the most part the whole game, which anytime that you have that, that's always a positive. We, you know, had a few miscommunications on the offensive line. I think that, you know, stunned a couple drives, a couple, you know, penalties hurt you as well. And so anytime you have that stuff happen, I mean, obviously it just puts you behind the sticks. And so changes the way your play calling a little bit is and, you know, how you're doing things.
Yeah, we talked at the beginning of the game, keys to victory, and one of them was to finish drives. And you had put together a very good drive, and a penalty stopped you.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and you're a type of team that you want to stay ahead of the sticks, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah, as much as you can. I mean, I think any time in high school football you want to stay as much in front of the sticks as you can. And, I mean, absolutely. You know, we had 3 drives that we felt like we were moving the ball well, we were doing a good job, and then they ended up ending in penalties. And, you know, like I said, anytime you're 2nd and 15, 2nd and 18, that does something to you.
And the thing is, you didn't have a ton of penalties, but when you got them, they were just inopportune.
Absolutely, and that's definitely what it felt like. Is anytime we were on a hot streak, we would just, then all of a sudden, we'd be going.
And going back to your defense, the guys up front, well, really, I think all of your defense played really well, but the guys up front, they put some plays there tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. We really felt like Fernando Hennes was dominate, you know, from his defensive end. We felt like he really did a good job. Porter was a sophomore, first varsity start. You know, that's always big. And then Isaac Tickner, senior, but he's never played defense before. He's never been asked to play defense. So we have 3 guys. Well, we've had first varsity defensive start, and then, you know, Fernando as the guy that's a veteran there for 2 years doing it. He looked like he should.
Your first game here, the kids learned as much about you as you learned about them tonight.
Absolutely. No, I think for all, I think we definitely learned about each other. And, you know, pregame message to them is, you know, I want to see what you like under the lights. You know who you are on practice. We know who you are in team camp. We know who you are when things are good. Now let's see what the lights are on. Everything's going. And so I think we had some real bright spots. There were a lot of bright spots, actually. And, you know, obviously points on the board, that'll make a difference.
I'm sure you've been told more than once going into Mount Vernon's a very special game for Monett.
Absolutely, yes. I've met with a handful of, you know, Monett alum, and they've all said the Mount Vernon games are jam.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm not a alum, but I've been in the area for back in the day. The games that meant more than years.
You know, if you don't hear that, you know, you need more time just because so every hour you have different practice. You know, right now, you know, expected weeks that happens as to the game. But for also, as far as I'm aware, no, never healthy. We work for the game.
Good. And I said more, but I mean it's time. The fourth down step down here. I said a lot about your team too. Least was going to go first. He went backwards.
Absolutely.
And he's not going to go backward very much
And
here.
the kid that made the tackle, the initial hit, that was the fumble, 5'7", 165 pounds.
Was it?
Ryan Whitnell.
Whitnell was in there because from a vantage point we couldn't tell. In there.
Ryan Whitnell is the one who, and I think that's also a lot about him. He's as tough as I've ever coached in his career.
Well, that's great, and he made a big play there.
Absolutely. Seniors make this.
Well, it says a lot about you and your team and the kids that they're going to keep fighting no matter what the scoreboard says.
Absolutely. Plan.
Great meeting you.
Thank you.
Let's go get a win against them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Lewis, we're going to slip away. We'll be back with more of the post after this timeout. You just heard from Cub Cafe. Brought us a nice interview with Coach Lewis. Cubs Cafe, sponsor of Monett Cubs football, located at 237. They always have their purple and gold on at Cubs Cafe. The sort of contest is generally forgotten over time, but the players, coaches, and fans leave lasting impressions. Next time you attend a high school game, think of how you will be remembered. Be sure to choose sportsmanship. This message brought by the Access Fair with locations in Aurora, Mount Vernon, Cassville, the Show, and also in. Well, take away from tonight's game. We're going to talk about player of the game a little bit. Let's hold on to that for a minute. What do you take away from tonight as a Monett Cub? Yeah.
I think you take away defense is solid. The two scores in the third with the field position gave a one big first. That led to it. Besides that, the defense solid, and they have them. Like Coach Lewis said, Ryan would now one of the smallest kids in the field knocked down a play by doing football, make him fumble, and the whole defense went to the ball. Even when it was late in the game, none of them gave up. All of them fighting. Same thing on offense. They scored, but they were still fighting. So that mental stuff that they need to fix, like say blocking assignments, that they correct it going next week to punch those score a touchdown.
Yeah, take care of a few penalty issues. You know, guys most of the time, not a good thing. You know, you clean that a little bit.
Absolutely.
But, you know, by and large, relatively clean. Special teams need work.
Absolutely.
I think you hang out on that defense, and if you have a defense, you'll stand ball.
Absolutely. You have a good defense, you're going to have a win a lot compared to sometimes if you have a good offense, you have a good defense, you also 40 points to win. Now, you have a really defense that you can hang your hat on. That's always good.
Absolutely. We're going to play here more sponsors when we come back, and I will tonight's player of the game sponsored by Walmart. We'll be back with more of the cafe post game for this timeout. Welcome back to Cubs Cafe postgame show. Cubs Cafe, thanks for staying tuned to postgame and wishes them a safe trip home. Offering breakfast fuel for the Monett Cubs. Be sure to stop in to Cubs Cafe for a great breakfast in the morning. We're thankful that we're bringing back player of the game, sponsored by Walmart Monett. So Walmart would like to congratulate this week's player of the game. Just like each of the Cubs Walmart strives to be great for the local community. Spend a little less to go more at Walmart in Monett. Brian, our player of the game is?
Hinojosa, defensive line.
Yeah, you called his name a number of times tonight. He made a number of tackles tonight for loss. And the times he was not in there, tackle, he was disrupting play. Had a very good game one, as did the entire defense. Picked, a whole host of Cubs players.
Jacob, for example, he had a good defensive game as well.
Yeah, Hoyt made a number of tackles. Tickner was in a lot. I mean, there were a lot of different players, but tonight, Hosa will be awarded the Walmart player of the game. All over the game. Congratulations to him and the Monett defense here tonight. Be sure to catch Coach Lewis next Friday evening right here on 95.9. Coach Lewis sat down with KKBL Sammy to discuss tonight's contest as well as preview the upcoming game against the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. The Coach Lewis can be heard just ahead of our pregame show right here on KKBL. So, what do you think? Back next Thursday?
Absolutely, again.
Yeah, you did a good job, and I have you along, and I thought you did a tremendous job here. I think back to my first effort, and I was at Mount Vernon about 100 years ago. And my broadcast partner left me about 5 minutes prior to kickoff and didn't come back about halftime. So that was a long time ago. I wouldn't do it. And it was 150 degrees. There was no storm doing cool things down. We were in the old press box at Mount Vernon, and the sun beating in on us. I didn't know what I was doing. And maybe I still don't know, but I faked it for a long time. But anyway, we'll have you along, and we'll be together next Thursday. So. Absolutely. Well, as we come to tonight's broadcast, I want to thank all the people here at Reed Springs for their help this evening. A special thanks also goes out to all the sponsors who make our broadcast possible. We can't do this without your support. Sub fans, I encourage you to get out and support these local businesses and let them know how much they are appreciated. And finally, a big thank you to all listeners out in the nation. Thanks for being with each and every Friday or Thursday night, as the case during the season. Just a reminder that our next broadcast will be coming your way next Thursday evening as the Cubs will host the Mount Vernon Mountaineers. It's one of 4 games in the regular season. Get out and support the Cubs. Pregame is set to begin at 6:25 with kickoff scheduled at 7 p.m. Once again, our final score from Carl English Stadium tonight, Reed Spring 20-0. From my broadcast, Ryan McCullough, and our producer engineer, Erwin Perez, this is Benji Finsky saying thanks for calling the Cubs and good night from Reed Spring.